Want to reach Night Talks Radio? That's easy. Simply dial 1-507-384-9390.
I would say the people, the trains, moving this equipment around, throughout the years, it's been kind of awesome working here. And this by far is the coolest part.
2 hours later.
This fucking outfit makes me fucking... No wonder I fucking flip out.
You flip out? Come on.
Last night I phoned. They said I was getting out at fucking 1:20. I went to bed at fucking 19 o'clock. Woke up at 1:30. Oh, you're on for 17 o'clock. After I'm fucking slept right out, stay up till 5 in the morning, go to bed, get up. So now I tried to call in. I was on hold for 20 fucking minutes because I thought, okay, I'm going to zip to town, check my mail. I get halfway to town. My cell phone goes off. I got no fucking service. So I fucking pull a U-turn. I got my foot on the fucking rug. I'm doing 130 clicks. Holy fuck, I tell you, it's enough to make two fucking old people want to fuck. I had the fucking Jehovah's Witness at my door, too, and I fucking screamed, fuck off! Jesus fucking Christ.
You finished?
No!
Well, carry on.
What do you want?
Carry on. I got lots of time. You don't, but I do.
You motherfucker. What's up?
Oh, fuck. 340, 1400.
Who's that with? Oh, for sakes. Could it get worse? That fucking waddle-ass fucking know-it-all fucking idiot. Holy fuck me.
I can't understand why they fired you 40 times on this company.
You should see the calendar in the station at the fort. Is back. Is gone.
Oh, fuck. You break all kinds of records, don't you?
Fucking right. Well, isn't that a cocksucker? So now I'm called. Holy fuck! Okay. Hey, fuck off.
Hey, be nice to people today, eh?
The whole world. Anybody gets in my fucking road today, they're going fucking south.
Oh, you're sad.
Okay, bye.
I got whiskey tears falling down on my face. I got drunk, passed out back at my place. Wish I could have one more taste. But she's gone out my life and man, that's a waste. And now the steak don't taste the same. And this beer, it tastes like rain. That dog shit on my lawn. And nothing starts just like my car. Fuck me. Whoa. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. Whoa. Fuck me. Fuck me. And now I bust my ass every goddamn day. Living paycheck to paycheck just to get the bills paid. I'm hitting every red light on the way home. I'm blocking private callers on my cell phone. Flipping middle fingers to the douchebag in the fast lane. And now I'm going insane. And now the steak don't taste the same. And this beer, it tastes like rain. That dog shit on my lawn. And nothing starts just like my car. Fuck me. Whoa. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. Whoa. Fuck me. Fuck me. I got whiskey tears falling down on my face. I got drunk, passed out back at my place. I'm hitting every red light on the way home. I'm blocking private callers on my cell phone. Flipping middle fingers to the douchebag in the fast lane. And now I'm going insane. Now the steak don't taste the same. And this beer, it tastes like rain. That dog shit on my lawn. And nothing starts just like my car. Fuck me. Whoa. Fuck me. Fuck me. And now the steak don't taste the same. And this beer, it tastes like rain. That dog shit on my lawn. And nothing starts just like my car. Fuck me. Every red light on the way home. I'm blocking private callers on my cell phone. Fuck me. Every red light on the way home. I'm blocking private callers on my cell phone. Fuck me. Every red light on the way home. I'm blocking private callers on my cell phone. Fuck me. Every red light on the way home. Fuck me.
Free socks.
There are so few Jedi left. She is coming.
Our enemies are multiplying. The galaxy is not safe. I could use the help.
It's now or never. Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Hunt them down.
This is where it gets interesting.
Get ready. Ready. Ready.
Ahsoka, 2-episode premiere August 23rd, only on Disney+.
Work hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple. Miles inside these shoes so I don't
don't stomp, I tiptoe. Fell 1,000 times and still I roll no limp though. But I wouldn't trade a thing for what I had. I go hard, do what I need to make it last. They say the good die young, I hope I'm back. Cheers to my past. I'm doing great now, just in case they ask. In the booth and I lay it down. I might take a nap, and they thought I was playing around. I was up like my tax. Living fast, over limit on the freeway, hope no cops pass. Had to dip off for a minute, yeah, that's my bad. But I can't stay for too long, I gotta go. I grab my bag and hit the dash, yeah, adios. I drop the clutch and slam the gas, and it's vamonos. If you're not first and you're in last, Ricky Bobby quote, you gotta know. Work hard, get dough.
Streaming to you live from Spreaker.com and somewhere deep in the great upper Midwest. If you're ready for a ride, you can call NTR anytime by dialing the nationwide caller line at 1-507-384-9390. First-time callers can reach Night Talks Radio at 1-507-307-4424. Text Daniel and NTR exclusively at 1-218-689-7126. Now, from somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's your hosts, Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
Work hard, get dough. I can't get no sleep, please make my life more simple. Mouth inside these shoes so I don't stomp, I tiptoe. Fell 1,000 times and still I roll no limp though. But I wouldn't trade a thing.
Can't get no sleep. That's like the understatement of the year. Jennifer, how about you?
Yeah, that's about right.
What's sleep? I heard of it before.
I think I finally went to sleep about 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, baby girl was up, and I can't sleep when she's up, so.
Well, she's up at like 2 in the morning.
Oh, she's a night.
She goes about like 5, she's up at 2.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really yell at her or be upset because she's actually sleeping the right amount of hours that she's supposed to sleep.
She's just mixed up,
Yeah, it's just kind of mixed up, you know what I'm saying?
Then the thing is, if we put her to bed at 9 o'clock, she wants to get up at like midnight, 1 o'clock, and she's wide awake,
It's just, that's why she's like, if there's like a leaderboard on Roadblocks, she's like 3rd in the world.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure.
She loves her Roadblocks. But the thing is, what I noticed is that what helps her go to sleep is either play Roadblocks.
Is the Roadblocks?
Well,
yeah.
That's one thing that helps her go to sleep. But another thing that helps her go to sleep is to draw. It's like her mind. Her mind shuts off.
The pictures and such.
When she draws pictures, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could, literally, from the studio floor all the way up to the ceiling, and we still wouldn't have enough room with the just, massive amounts of drawings and writings that she's given us throughout just the past year alone.
Yeah. I mean, I want to decorate, like, when we move into our new place, I want to decorate, like, the hallway with all her drawings.
That's what I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
John Sequin, I know you're out there. You better be listening. And Scott Valesky, when I live with those guys,
yeah,
I dedicated one full wall.
Oh, for
it's a little different. It was for pictures.
Oh, okay.
Like random pictures that you take, blah blah blah.
Right.
But like the new place have like a random wall dedicated to all her drawings.
Right, yeah.
Which would have to be like, say, like a basement wall or something. It couldn't be like the size of.
That's why I said the hallway. I think would be perfect.
The hallway, something like that. Even fancy it up just a bit. Get some frames.
Here's the thing: is I'm going to take some of her drawings because her drawings are actually really neat. Very creative.
No, they are.
And everything
like she has
that,
like
very good, and stuff. I'm going to take some of it and I'm going to put them on some of my shirts that I'm selling.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. When I was a little fella. And into my teen years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I was extraordinary.
Yeah.
In terms of drawing
and stuff. Yeah,
illustrations.
I was the same way, and I can still draw to this day and everything like that too.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. But I did graphic novels.
You
know, like I was really influenced by a specific type of Japanimation. Okay. And
Japanimation.
Check it out. But I noticed that it's been passed down through me to my son, Tristan, who's listening to the show tonight. What's going on, buddy? T-Dog?
Hey, love you, T-Dog.
Lots of love from Minnesota to my son, Tristan. So glad you're listening. Whatever I say on this show, son.
My soon-to-be son.
Soon-to-be son. He is your son.
Yeah, well, he is my
He's your
son.
Stepson.
Yeah, he's my stepson. But I wish he was my real son, too. So.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
He loves you.
I know.
We all know that. And, you know, whatever I say on this show, though, son, pretty much don't listen to. Don't repeat anything that I say, because, like, you know, probably like an hour or two, I'll just go on a barrage of just cuss words.
Yeah, your dad's got a potty mouth.
I got a potty mouth. That's a little bit more than a potty mouth. If you live the life that I lived, you're gonna cuss a little bit.
I suppose
I'll try to keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
But my Tristan, my son, he is smart enough to know.
He knows better.
Not to repeat what comes. This is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
You know, it's like Sirius XM times 1,000 now. You know what I mean? You could say whatever the hell you want. Okay.
Right.
So I'll keep the bad wordage down to a minimum, but I'm not going to guarantee that. I can't. You know, I don't want to lie to my son. But you know, I'm like what's his name from the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
You know, I bring it up all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Judge, I have to say fuck. Like it doesn't matter. It's a connecting word. It's like saying the and end.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's I say this every show. I gotta connect it.
Yeah.
Why do you gotta cuss so much? Because like I don't even know I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Half the time. You know?
Right.
It's like, shit, how the fuck are you doing, man? Hey. You know, you could be that's so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No.
So, but my son's smart enough to know not to use those naughty words.
Right.
But I was gonna say what I was talking about was Tristan, just multi-talented illustration, things like that, and then his sister, obviously, just bonkers in the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, look around, for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't even have enough room.
No.
I have stuff in the studio, and you do too, of course. You know, but everything else is
her.
I mean, it's taken up.
Yeah.
There is not a single empty wall in this establishment.
No.
And I was looking at pictures when we first moved in.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, over 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I know, right?
We moved to this magical place.
Mm-hmm.
The walls were like empty. There were like a few pictures, you know, we had the nice autograph pictures there.
Yeah.
Scott with Michigan State and James Wisniewski and all those guys. And that was it.
Yeah.
You know? And then over like a 6-month period, it was just like dad tape,
yep.
dad stapler, dad freaking, you know. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I realized, like, she did it so stealthily that before I knew it, it's essentially wallpaper.
Yeah, she's decorating the wall.
So, both the children are multiple, just talented.
Yeah, and see, and she goes as far as like, okay, so she'll cut things out and she'll paste them together and make something of it. So like the other day, she asked me,
what is that called?
If I could draw
collage
like
or something.
Kinda, but if I could draw like what a finger looks like, or
here, I'll show you what a finger looks like.
Like a finger looks like. So I drew what a finger looks like, and she has to, I could cut it out, and I cut it out and everything like that. And she's like, well, how do you make a fingernail? And I kind of showed her, and I said, well, however long you want it to be, just make a half moon, okay? But then she comes back with it, and she has it all colored in, and she has the fingernail made, and everything like that to the size that she wants it. And then she's got like a picture inside that fingernail, and this is how she designs things,
dude.
Or else she'll take like a circle and she'll cut that out, and then she'll take hair and cut that out and paste that on the head of the circle, and then she'll take like the body and cut that out. So it's like she's making her own little character and stuff like that. It's just she's so talented and creative.
The moment I knew that I was dealing with something that was better than me by far is the time she sat with me on our gaming computer. And I happened to be playing, I think it was Battlefield 2042. Okay. I think you were at the grocery store.
Probably.
She said, Dad, I want to play.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, oh, okay, she can walk around and blah, blah, blah,
right.
Shoot and stuff, And of course she knows it's just a game, but she knows the idea of the game, though.
Yeah.
And she said, Dad, who are we, who are them, who's the bad guy? So I pointed things out and this and that. Within the next 5 minutes, she had 3 perfect kill shots.
Oh, wow.
That's when I said, I'm going to go I'm in the kitchen, get a drink of water.
Yeah.
And wonder how the fuck you did that, because...
Well, she must learn, I mean, she teaches herself, too,
She's like, Dad, got another kill shot. It was a headshot. Like,
she watches YouTube, and she teaches herself things and stuff like that.
And of course we watch, we monitor.
Yeah, and that's how she got through, like, what was it, Mario Brothers or whatever. That's how
she's
she got through.
She's freaking looking up tips and tricks.
Yeah,
and,
like the walkthrough of how to do it. That's how she got through the whole entire thing. Is by watching the walkthrough and everything like that. Yeah, she's extremely smart. It's like she catches on just like that. Like, she can take a look at a picture just by her phone or by TV or whatever, and she'll draw that picture.
Oh, yeah.
Just by watching TV or watching the movie or whatever, she's drawing the picture.
Absolutely. Like, that's why, like, I want to combine brother and sister forces. I mean... can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? Just the creativity alone?
Well, I know. I mean, right now she's already on Roblox, that's got that movie maker thing. She's already kind of making her own, movies.
Right. And she was already like, I want to be on the radio.
Yeah, she wants to be on the radio.
She's like, I want to do that. And it's like, dude, it's like, hey, you're fucking 5, dude.
Yeah.
Like, didn't she say something about like when did she get in the car? When did she get in the car?
Oh yeah. So she told me the other day. She's like, Mom. She says, I know what kind of car I want. And I said, really? I said, do you want a big car? You want a small car? She goes, I want a cyan colored car with
fucking
pink
cyan
and purple hearts because I love Mom and Dad so much.
Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Wow,
How are you 5 years old and like have your fucking dream car picked out by the time you turn 16, 17, 18 years old?
Yeah, and then she said that it has to fit like 3 people. As long as it fits 3 people, she's fine with the car.
Like super specific, like 3 people.
Yeah, and that's what it is. She's very specific on things.
I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even when I got my first car, it was whatever I fucking got.
Well, the parking lot, we saw a Jeep, right? And she goes, oh, that's Mr. Bean's car. And I said, not quite, but, you know.
I thought that was pretty funny, by the way.
That is kind of small.
Mr. Bean's fucking
you know,
hilarious.
Mr. Bean has a smaller car, though, you know, but a Jeep is kind of small. So, yeah, you're in the right area, kind of, you know.
But yet again, a 5-year-old girl going, hey, dude, that looks like Mr. Bean's car.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? The last episode of Mr. Bean, BBC, dude, was like 30 some odd years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, longer than that, maybe?
Yeah, and the other day we were driving.
How in the fuck?
I was driving to the grocery store with her, and she's like, Mom, what are those cars doing over there? And I said, oh, those are sitting over there waiting to be sold. And she goes, sitting? What's sitting? And I said, oh, okay, they're parked over there.
Yeah, they're parked.
Like, she didn't understand what sitting, like, because she, like a car doesn't sit, is what she told me. And I said, yeah, true. I said, they are parked over there then. I'm sorry, you know. I mean, Jesus.
So, I mean, like I said, I think if we you know, get Tristan here finally and they combine forces, I think we're shit out of luck.
I think so.
I think we're shit out of luck.
I think
so. As a matter of fact,
I think we're fired.
I think, as a matter of fact,
Tristan would take over host and she'd take over co-host and we'd be fired.
And we'll just be like other production people that, you know, like, son, do you need a cup of coffee? You know, like, you know, and you'd be like, you know, daughter, do you want a donut or, you know, a Krispy Kreme or something?
Right,
you know?
right.
Son, would you like a macchiato? You know? It's like, jeez.
I know, right, I know. Well, you know, I guess we've got some talented kids on our hands, and I can't wait to see.
Talented doesn't even.
What they're going to grow up to be like, you know?
Well, Tristan is going to be superior. I know that. Let me just put it this way.
Kinsey's going to be independent.
It's, well, with Tristan, he's on a whole nother level than other people.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put it that way.
Kinsey's going to be very independent.
Kinsey?
She's going to want to go and explore things.
She is going to be like giving Dad heart attacks like every other day. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, that's why I want my son out here.
Yeah, to protect
like,
her.
Hey, son, you need to watch your sister. Okay? Watch the boys.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't let her climb a building.
But with your son, you got to watch the girls, too, so.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He's pretty smart.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And don't forget, he saw the, well, let's just put it this, the last relationship. It's kind of like a tutorial in exactly what not to do and who to be with.
Yeah.
So,
right.
He's already a winner.
Oh, yes.
He is already a winner. I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
So after...
who wants to talk about the, you know...
Who, what, where, why, when?
Who, what, where, why? Who wants to talk about the opening poems here, you know? Well, we better get going on some of this because our guest is going to probably be calling in here.
Oh, yeah! By the way...
We got a guest coming in.
We have a guest today.
Yes, we do.
Second and third hour.
Yes. So
what the hell's his name?
Patrick Meechan.
Patrick Meechan.
He's an author and he is a paranormal experiencer.
That's exactly what I said. Paranormal experiencer. He's got some
crazy
some
stuff.
haunted
Very crazy stuff
stories. So if you know, if you're getting ready for Halloween, which is not too far away,
now we're going to talk about Halloween.
listen to old Patrick Meechan.
Oh, yes.
But he will be coming up in the second hour.
Second and third hour, and then the fourth hour we will end the show with our news.
Well, yeah,
the
at
news
the end
you
of the
can
fourth
use,
hour.
the NTRN, the news you can use.
which we have plenty of.
Oh yes, oh yes. So
we
let's
got some shit.
Let's go
hey,
see if we can get
30
through
minutes,
this
by the way.
astronomical insights here real quick, and
Do
let's
it.
go through the opening poem. I wrote
Do
this
it.
poem again. It's called "Let's Build a Brighter Tomorrow."
Let's build. Why does that sound like a
It's called
like
Build.
a Michael Jackson song? Like
It's called "Build a Brighter Tomorrow."
Okay, here's Michael Jackson with "Build a Better Tomorrow."
Some days I want to run away to a place where there is no sorrow, to a place where there is a brighter tomorrow. Take me to a new universe where we can start over, because the earth is dying fast, and sooner or later it won't last. I'm tired of all the bad news, the killing and the war coming. It's time for a new beginning, to start fresh and get rid of the left. Out with the old and in with the new. It's time to leave this dark, cloudy place and put behind all the hate that people face. It's time to open our eyes to the blue skies, the blue water, the blue world, the new world. It's time to wash our hands of all the pain and face the rain, to grow our new life without any strife, fighting pain or sorrow. It's time to pick up and win. It's time to begin to build a brighter tomorrow. So build a
you know
brighter
what?
tomorrow.
I'll give you a.
Yeah, you like it? Was that a good
That was
one?
pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good? Pretty good? Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, we're getting, like, completely fucked first, right?
Yeah, well,
And
you know,
then-
that's why I said it's time for us to win and build a brighter tomorrow.
Gotcha.
We're going to
Okay.
win.
So
We're gonna
after
win
this,
because
then we're gonna win.
We're going to win because we're going to build a brighter tomorrow. That's why we're going to win.
Oh, it's gonna be bright, all right. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Okay.
You know why I sang that song? For real?
Yeah.
No, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, then you nuclear war.
Yeah, I know.
This kid's one of
I
them.
got
Wears
that.
his fucking
Yeah.
sunglasses
Yeah,
at night.
I got
There's
that.
another
I got
man
that.
that I know
I
that
got
wears
that.
his sunglasses
I
at night, by the
got
way.
that, I got that.
No, I'm saying there's another man that I know.
Okay, what?
His name's Chris.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. We get to talk about him here later on, too, because I got a whole
hope
segment
you're,
about the crows.
Hoping you're listening because
yeah.
we have some crucial information
We do.
about the deadly crow
Yes.
attack that took place. I don't know if it was in Waterloo, outside of Waterloo,
So we
Kitchener area.
actually got some information of how crows actually work and what their favorite foods are that might actually help Chris.
How to disarm them.
How to, well, you know, how to get them to be more friendly.
To set their lockdown.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Russia says its Lunar 25 lander has crashed into the moon.
Lander.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, shitty name. Because that's like opposite of what you did.
The Luna 25 lunar lander has crashed into the moon.
That
Not
fucker-
planned. They didn't plan for it to crash in the moon. They just planned for it to actually, you know, sit down in the moon, you know. and
You've
stuff.
seen
But
Star
it
Wars,
crashed,
right?
You know.
You've seen Star Wars, obviously, many times, haven't you?
Yeah.
Now, you know, let's go to Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series.
Mhm.
Okay? Remember the girl that almost got killed by Anakin?
Yeah.
And then she came back and
Yeah.
was one of the three sisters or
Yeah.
whatever the fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know how she had, when she was fighting Vader, and she had the
Mhm.
double blades?
Yeah.
Kind of like Darth Maul.
Mhm.
That's exactly what their rocket looked like before it just fucking right into the fucking moon.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Like-
It went off course or whatever, you know, and then it just went right into the moon. So
Might be okay after all, man, if that's
right.
how their ICBMs work. It's like, dude, you're supposed to hit the United States, not fucking the fucking Southern Ocean.
So the preliminary analysis suggests that the wayward orbital maneuver sent Luna 25 into an unexpected trajectory, one in which the moon lander ceased to exist as a result of a collision with the lunar surface.
Shitty.
That is what they're saying there. The last moon probe from the country was Luna 24 in 1976. So obviously
Whoa.
their technology probably wasn't the greatest then.
So this was like the next launch of that series?
Yep.
Wow.
So it says like in 1972, okay? So a few years later after the last human moon landing by NASA in 1972, Luna 25 was targeted to touch down near the south pole of the moon, where the probe was to spend 1 Earth year searching for water, ice, and performing a number of scientific investigations. But, you know,
we'll talk about that
obviously,
moon landing
they've
later.
come a long way since 1976, because, I mean, in 1976, you know, they landed a probe on the moon, landed, not crashed, but, you know, many years later, they crash it on the moon. So
again,
what does that say about their technology?
Well, no, here you go. The best part, though,
yeah,
okay,
right,
was, I think I mentioned this in the last show or the show before that, when NASA's they had their press conference going, and they were like, I mean, that dude was like, "We're gonna get to the moon, guys."
Yeah.
And it's like, hey,
didn't you already go there?
that already fucking happened?
Yeah, right.
Like, somebody to get the memo again, like I said.
All right, so how about China's rover maps out 1,000 feet of hidden structure deep below the dark side of the moon, apparently.
Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
So their results revealed billions of years of previously hidden lunar history.
Yes, of course.
So, yeah.
China, just the best in,
you know, China discovered
human rights, and
right.
they have not even a single factory that poofs out any smoke and chemicals.
Yeah.
They don't smoke cigarettes.
No, not at all.
And they don't drive vehicles.
Right.
and they don't fart. So there
How
you go.
about NASA flew a modified U-2 spy plane into thunderstorms to study the super energetic gamma rays?
Who did?
NASA did.
And U2 came along, the band?
No. The modified
Oh,
U-2 spy
gotcha.
plane. A U-2
I
spy
see.
plane.
Damn it. I wouldn't mind
I'm
U2.
sorry.
I would, you know, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail on this one, probably, still from like 56-year-old moms that smoke Newport 100s in bars trying to pick up young men. They're gonna be like, how dare you say that about U2? I wish U2 was on that Russian rocket. Just come on, just stop, go away.
So anyways, okay, so thunderstorms can create powerful updrafts and downdrafts of wind that accelerate air and water to high speeds. We all know that, okay?
Did we just...
They emit two different types of gamma ray radiation, short flashes and long ones. You know that too, okay? So what they're hoping is that they're going to be able to study a little bit more about why these are happening, you know, what they can do about it, maybe even figure out, you know, when the storm is going to come, you know, and everything like that. So almost like a detection thing is what they're trying to do there. So
Right.
Yeah. So how about fountains of diamonds erupt from the Earth's center as supercontinents break apart?
Where is this?
So researchers have discovered a pattern where diamonds spew from deep beneath the Earth's surface in huge explosive volcanic eruptions.
Okay. Again, where is this located?
So the eruptions may have created Mount...
Like they actually created their own...
Venevis? Yeah, in England.
England.
Yeah.
And so...
So that's what the study is.
Is it
England.
literally just like diamonds, like coming out?
It's diamonds. It's diamond fragments, yes.
So, you know, like I really hate planes, but in this situation, when will we be going to England?
Well, I don't know. But researchers noticed that they actually occur most often during times when the tectonic plates are rearranged.
I mean, honestly, I don't
So-
give two shits, but...
so almost like there's, you know, I
just want to know
guess-
when, exactly, the moment.
Well, I don't know when. I haven't even thought about when.
Come on,
But
news lady.
anyways, the report is in the July 26th Journal of Nature. So there you go on that one. And then the Perseverance Mars rover spots a big sunspot rotating towards Earth. So
Yeah.
we're all gonna die.
They've been... I mean, this
We're
will
gonna
be
die.
this will be in the news and you can use.
So it says because Mars is orbiting over the far side of the sun, Perseverance can see approaching sunspots more than a week before we do. So consider this your 1 week warning. A big sunspot is coming, according to NASA.
Thanks. Things can't get much fucking worse. But did you see? Did you literally see there was a massive tornado on the sun?
A massive tornado on the sun.
I mean, it was if you watch the video.
It might have been something you've seen, but I didn't see any massive tornadoes.
Oh God!
I mean,
this was
I've
a couple
seen
days ago.
solar flares and
no.
big eruptions and things like that.
This
but
was
not a massive tornado.
This was
I
a
didn't see that
fiery
like that.
fucking tornado. I mean, it looked exactly like something that you would see here on Earth.
I'll have to look it up and see.
And so, if that was the case,
Right.
you got to figure that was probably 60 Earth sizes.
Jesus.
So...
And we're going to burn up. We're going to burn up in a nuclear war. We're going to burn up in a sunspot or a gamma ray.
Or a sun tornado.
A sun tornado or something like that.
Tsunami.
Or, tsunami's going to get us, I mean, we got so many...
COVID's coming back.
Yeah, COVID's going
Don't
to
forget
come
about
back.
COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think that, my vision was right, and it's going to be in 3 phases, the end of the world. And number 1, like I have said before, it's going to turn our water's going to turn into almost like a black lava. It's going to be very, very hot. It's going to be hard, scorching hot, basically. And anyone who's in it, and stuff, basically is going to be burned alive, unfortunately. Because
The problem that I have
it's
with
gonna be
you...
so scorching hot. The second one
is
going
sorry.
to be...
We're done.
Second phase is going to be acid is going to come from the sky.
Oh.
It's, rain in form of rain. So it's going to rain acid, okay?
Cool.
And the last
All right.
one is a bunch of big fireballs are going to come right from the sky, and that's going to be poof, gone. The end.
Alrighty. So...
Sorry for the bearer of bad news.
I just you always give our listeners and fans around the world just so much hope for the future. You know what I mean? It's just extraordinary.
I'm sorry, you guys.
I love you to death, but
yeah.
you are sort of like Satan a little bit.
No,
Come on, just a little bit, maybe.
No,
Huh?
because in 2023 is the
Grim
time
Reaper?
of opening up your spiritual well-being as well. And you're supposed to open up your divine consciousness to the spiritual higher powers.
Yeah.
And also, you're supposed to open it up. Why do you think we're seeing more and more UFOs and aliens and things like that?
Because I think you wish it.
No, because it's all... I don't wish it, but it's all spiritual, and stuff like that. So it's spiritual energies all coming together as one, and that's what it's supposed to be. The divine consciousness is supposed to come together as one, and 2023 is supposed to be a big year for that.
Yeah.
So... there you go. That's good news, you guys. That's good news. Not bad news. That's good news.
All right.
So, anyway.
All right. I don't want to piss you off or have a rebuttal, dude, that you might not agree with.
Put a spell on you.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So, how about we talk about the horoscopes here? Do you want to know the horoscopes?
Oh, yes. You know what?
We love horoscopes, don't we?
You know what? My horoscope better be fucking outrageous. If it's not, you're fired.
Okay, well, it says that if you're single, you might meet someone, but you don't have to worry about that. And you might feel this is the perfect partner for you. Be cautious. This wonderful new person may have money problems or be jealous and possessive. Move ahead if it feels right, but move ahead with caution. And don't be swept off your feet until you're certain that this person is okay.
So basically,
am I okay?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, basically my horoscope, like, meant absolutely nothing today. Because I'm already with you, been with you 10 years.
No, I mean, you don't have any caution, move ahead, and stuff like that. I'm a good person, and stuff, so there you go.
Yeah, but there was, like, no money. There was, like,
opening
no
your eyes, though,
I mean, being happy.
I'm so sorry.
Getting my son.
That's the way.
You know what?
That's the way the stars and planets are right now. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, we'll there's plenty of people that want to be co-hosts.
All right, Taurus. You might have some important work to do at home.
Hey, everybody! Chat's open, by the way, on Spreaker.
Unexpected visitors might have other ideas for your day. Don't get angry or frustrated. Explain what's going on politely, and they'll probably understand, so they need to try to plan something later on. Okay. Basically, you tell them to go away, I'm busy, and come back another day. No, just kidding.
You're like the weirdest individual ever. Okay, continue.
Oh, man. Well,
what? What'd you do? What? You fucked everything up, didn't you?
No,
you accidentally erased everything on your computer.
No. I'm here. Okay, all right. So, Gemini, electronic communication could be difficult today. Driving a car could land you in impossible traffic. If you really need to speak to someone, the best thing to do may be to talk or take a walk and go see them in person. So, don't use your electronic devices today. All right. Cancer.
Like even me or just
no, Gemini.
Okay.
Cancer,
Gemini,
money problems may seem to be escalating. The situation is only temporary. Put all paperwork aside for now. If you wait a day until you are feeling a little less stressed, you'll be able to get a better handle on the situation and juggle your budget in order to make it all work.
Okay.
Leo. Your four walls could seem to be closing in on you today. You might feel that you're going crazy. Keep yourself indoors. It's important to get out, so don't. But responsibilities may keep you indoors anyway. Excuse me. It's important to get out. Take a brisk walk around the neighborhood and run a quick errand if you need to.
Okay.
Virgo. Sudden psychic insights that seem important could come your way today, but you could be confused about the meaning. This might bother you today unless you write your thoughts down. Sometimes the process of recording your ideas can bring in insights meaning to light. If this doesn't help, keep your notes until tomorrow. This should become clearer then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Libra, you and some friends might spontaneously decide to do something adventurous.
And die.
No.
Oh, okay.
Take a trip out of town. This might be fun. Make sure to go somewhere that one of you knows fairly. And it also makes sure that others know where you are, so you have no one worrying about you. Scorpio. Kimmy and Karen.
Kimmy!
News of an unexpected career break could come your way. This can be exciting, and it should make a big difference in your life. This time definitely calls for some modesty. If you act too proud or thrilled, you might stir some envy among your colleagues, so try to hold back a little bit. And save your excitement for your family. Okay. Sagittarius. You are taking a long distance trip by air. Are you taking a long trip? Are you taking a long distance trip by air, Sagittarius?
You ain't taking my son nowhere long trip.
Postpone it. Because you may be prepared for delays, lost luggage, or bad weather. Travel light. Be at the airport early if you do decide to go. And
you know what's even better?
If not, rearrange some things and plan on later on, because things will clear up in the next day or so.
You know what's even better?
What?
Don't take a fucking plane.
Yeah, right. All right, Capricorn. Your subconscious mind is active today. You might have psychic insights as well. However, something possible about your relationship with a friend or love partner will be the best. Make a list of the symbols and then figure out what they mean to you. The symbols in these dreams are probably all very personal. So therefore, you're going to get some signs today through your dreams.
So,
and lastly, Aquarius and Pisces. Aquarius, it's not a good day to get together with a romantic partner. Talk on the phone is okay. Keep your conversations the best you can. Your friends could be in a very agitated state of mind and might take offense to any innocent remark from you, so be careful and just be patient. Pisces, you may have some technical gadgets that you basically may want to work out today. You know, they may go out of whack and you may have to fix them a little bit. You know, it may frustrate you.
The nuclear core slipped out of position, or what?
Basically, it seems like everyone's going to have some kind of technical issues with their devices. It seems like stay
stop
calm
right there.
And
stop right there.
Call in professional to fix the problem.
People are going to have problems with their electrical devices today.
Yeah.
You know, that makes me think. What did we talk about yesterday? That we'll be talking about in news.
EMP, that's what you're thinking? I think it might be the sunspot that's coming. Maybe.
Well, if you're just talking specifically about EMP, it doesn't matter.
Well, you just...
Whichever...
You never know. You never know. So, let's go on and talk about things that are associated with your zodiac. And I'm going to talk about the number of planets and their significance.
7 minutes.
I know,
you hear me now?
Yeah, I know.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So... we all know that, you know, there's 12 signs, obviously, in the zodiac, and within that zodiac, there's also 9 planets, okay? You're going to have, you know, everyone's going to have a planet, but some of them are going to share a planet, okay? So, Aries, your planet is Mars. Taurus, your planet is Venus.
Couldn't figure that one out.
Gemini, your planet is Mercury. Cancer, you have the moon. Leo, you have the sun. Virgo, you have Mercury. Libra, you have Venus. Scorpio, Kimmy and Karen, you have Mars. Sagittarius, you have Jupiter. Capricorn is Saturn. Aquarius is also Saturn. And Pisces is Jupiter. Why I am saying this, I will explain to you what each one of them means here briefly.
I'm still here, everybody.
Mars is the sun of land, property, courage, warrior, soldier, bravery, strength, and confidence.
And kick-assness.
A strong Mars can help make you very strong and perform you very well in a career.
Especially when you have 2 Glocks.
Venus, love, relationship, romance, beauty, intimacy, and passion. Strong harmony brings love and harmony to you. Mercury, speech, communication, knowledge, intelligence, and logic. It plays an important role in your life of a student, and strong Mercury makes the person extrovert. Moon, mind, emotion, mother, love, peace, and positivity. If you are weak in your birth chart, it can cause some troubles or depression, though.
Really?
Sun, consider the soul of a person possesses positive traits like a father figure, energy, power, confidence, authority, and is the strongest of all the 9 planets. Jupiter, wisdom, spirituality, religious, and knowledge, and wisdom. A strong Jupiter makes the person more spiritual and creative. And Saturn, the lord of karma and justice. It's a karmic planet, so if anyone commits wrong deeds in the past, Saturn...
A karmic, like karma?
Yep. So if anyone commits wrong deeds in the past, Saturn will punish you according to your karma. So there you go. I'm sorry.
So I should expect Saturn at the door tomorrow.
Well, no, that's only if your planet is Saturn, and your planet is not Saturn, hon. Your planet is Mars.
So I'm safe.
So you are basically a strong Mars will help you make a very strong and make you very strong and perform well in a career. So that is what you are. So
if I didn't have a fucking foot that was broken since fucking May.
Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness.
Hey, every railroad.
Yeah?
I'm coming right to you. Okay, great. See you the next day. Oh, sorry, can't make it because I don't have a foot.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's finish off here with the intriguing facts of the day.
Yes, host.
So,
whatever you say, host.
Beer is one of the oldest recorded recipes in the world, with documentations of the beverage dating back to around 5000 BC and the ancient Egyptians.
For your solar.
All right, so Americans consume around 150 million hot dogs on the 4th of July each year. Elephants can jump.
Can jump?
Cannot jump.
Oh, can't jump.
No. If you go to the top of Mount Everest, you will get cell service.
Well, I'd fucking imagine.
Do you know that
you're like right next to the satellite?
Do you know that you actually lose a large percentage of your taste buds while you're on an airplane?
No.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, it's going to explain a lot, because the less than stellar in-flight meals, you know, is why you find yourself craving the saltiest foods, is why you're in the sky. So, because you know.
That was one minor water cooler conversation that I did not know.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
yeah, thank you, woohoo!
Kudos to Jennifer Gregerson, host and creator of Nick Talks Radio.
Abraham Lincoln was a successful competitor wrestler.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
So Abraham Lincoln fucking wrestled like WWE.
He was a successful competitive wrestler. Yes.
You're shit. Did he ever take on The Rock or anything?
No, I didn't say anything like that. But the heaviest onion ever grown was 18
Abraham
pounds.
Lincoln. Go ahead.
The heaviest onion ever grown was 18 pounds and was grown in England, and that's a toddler-sized onion.
And that will be avoided greatly by me.
And did you know Jennifer Lawrence has a tattoo that says H2O? Do you know why she has a tattoo that says H2O on her hand?
Ooh. Wait. I'm going to take a stab at this one, and I know that I'm probably wrong.
What?
Doesn't have anything to do with the Halloween movies, right?
Nope, it's because it's to remind her to drink water. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Like her brain, there's so much going on
I don't know. I mean, it's
with
just
selling
to
Capital One.
Remind her to drink water. Did you know that the original vacuum cleaner was a horse-drawn buggy?
Was my ex?
Was a horse-drawn buggy vacuum cleaner?
No.
Yeah.
Now I do. So you brought a horse on a buggy into your house?
A horse-drawn buggy would announce to all your neighbors that you were having a special treatment done.
Hey, it's like, we got your carpet clean. You're going to have to go ahead and pick up those 20 horse pancakes, though.
Yeah, right.
They got left there behind. We don't do that service. That's another service.
Alfred Hitchcock was scared of eggs. So why did he not do a horror film about eggs? Just out of curiosity.
You just fucking said it.
Yeah, I know. But he didn't create any horror films about eggs, you know, so that just be thankful that he didn't, you know. He was scared of eggs.
So he was that... why, does it say why he was afraid of eggs?
Doesn't say, no.
That's an unusual thing to be afraid of.
I can go back and check
like
a little
eggs
bit more
I
and
can
find out,
eat.
but why would you be afraid of eggs? I mean, it's not like they're like... They don't have eyes or anything like that.
Dude, I literally can eat egg and cheese sandwiches all day, every day.
I don't know.
You got like 50 seconds, pal.
I got 50 seconds. Well, you know, we can talk a little bit about the crows, maybe, or do we wait until we come back?
Oh, the crows. That's a big thing.
Yeah, let's wait until we come back.
Well, we gotta get a legal advisor in here and everything.
A legal advisor?
You know, what to do with your dangerous crow neighbors that throw fucking parties.
Right.
Shoot their guns in the air.
So, well, you know, let's talk about
215s in the back of their birdhouse.
Guest. So this upcoming guest, like I said, is
Patrick Meehan.
Patrick
Meehan. I want to say Meehan so bad.
Meechan. And he has a book. It's actually like a series of books.
Okay.
It's like volume 1 and volume 2. He's also working on another book, which he will talk a little bit about tonight. He actually he did not have very good luck when it came to renting houses, apparently.
It wasn't like every place that...
Well, he had 2 places. 2 places. Both places were haunted. And they had some really spooky things that happened and everything like that, which got him to actually learn how to perform, like, exorcisms, basically. And he'll explain a little bit about that, too. So
this is
going to be very interesting to have Patrick aboard, and we're all pretty happy about that here. So it's going to be a fun show.
Well, folks, that's a fact. It's going to be a fun show. We haven't talked much about paranormal
in a long time
and things like that in a while, so we shall be doing that in the second hour with Patrick Meechan. This is NTRN Tuesday night. We'll be right back.
As the tributes prepare to enter the arena, the tension in the air is palpable. Who among them will have what it takes to survive?
I'm Lucky Flickerman, first ever host of the Hunger Games.
Run.
Enjoy the show.
There has been a change this year. As the mentor, Mr. Snow, your role is to turn these children into spectacles, not survivors.
From District 12, Lucy Gray Bear.
What does my mentor do besides bring me roses?
I do my best to take care of you.
You hear that, boy? It's the sound of snow falling.
It's not just about winning.
Everything is about winning.
You're monsters! All of you!
You really want to take care of me in that arena? Start by thinking I can actually win.
I'm getting tired of your bullshit. I'm tired of your voice. I'm getting tired of the way you leave me hanging with no choice. If you would ask me long ago, back when you seduced me, yeah, I felt like a domino, but I knew your reliability. He said, baby, I've been dying to see you. Almost thought we were busy with, oh, shut up, shut up, such a dumb. It's almost funny. Got the lips of an angel, got the eyes of a beast, got the hands of a helper, got me weak to my knees. If you would ask me long ago, already knew you were poison. Yet I felt like a domino when you showed up here. He said, baby, I've been dying to see you. Almost thought we were through. I've been busy hanging with my boys, but you look stunning. I forgot how fine you are, but I didn't forget to give you a call. I was just busy with, oh, shut up, shut up, shut up. Such a dumb. It's almost funny. The way he believes in his own lies, or the way he believes that my doubts won't rise. Oh, shut up, shut up. Such a dumb. It's almost funny. Although I call myself to sleep, although I think you're all I need, I have to get a grip of this. I have to let this feeling slip. Oh, shut up, shut up. Such a dumb dummy. It's almost funny. Oh, shut up, shut up. Such a dumb dummy. It's almost funny. Although I cry myself to sleep, although I know you're bad for me, I have to lay my hands on this bag you have.
Yeah, you got me thinking. Oh, you got me thinking out loud. You kept me waiting for the next time around. My heart is beating faster than the beat of a drum. Oh, we're all excited, just waiting for the night to come. I'm getting ready, 'cause we're second tonight. Oh, won't you come a little closer? When you got what you need, when you hurt, you still bleed. Well, it's time that you come down. Without love, when you're down on your luck, you can make it. Without love, we all fall hard. Oh, you got me spinning.
Streaming to you live from Spreaker.com and somewhere deep in the great upper Midwest. If you're ready for a ride, you can call NTR anytime by dialing the nationwide caller line at 1-507-384-9390. First-time callers can reach Night Talks Radio at 1-507-307-4424. Text Daniel and NTR exclusively at 1-218-689-7126. Now, from somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's your hosts, Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
When you're down on your luck, you can make it. Without love, we all fall hard.
Jennifer, you think we'd all fall down without
Possibly.
love?
Oh, without
Would
love?
we stumble
Oh, yes, we would fall without love.
and trip?
Yeah.
There needs to be more love in this country
There
in
does.
the world. How about that?
There does. Yes. A lot more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it the second hour?
It is the second hour. I think we have a guest.
I think we have a special guest.
Yeah.
And I think he goes by the name of Patrick Meechan.
Patrick Meechan.
Patrick, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I am, and it's actually Meekin. The H is silent.
Oh, look at that! See,
Meekin.
look what you
Okay.
see. You
Hey.
you put me in the wrong direction. You embarrassed me on the show.
I'm sorry, Patrick.
Now we know the truth. Patrick, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, not too shabby. At least it's not 120 in the studio tonight like it was the past week.
Yeah, next
we
week
got
it's
into
supposed to be a lot
the
hotter.
mid 50s tonight. I'm pretty ecstatic about that.
Oh yeah.
I bet.
Say, Patrick, when we get started here, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Who are you, Patrick?
Yes, I have had a somewhat unique experience of I experienced 2 consecutive yet unrelated haunted houses. And I guess there's people who have had 2 houses consecutively, but mine were completely unrelated. I think, sometimes in an experience like that, something can attach to you and follow you.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But in my case, these were completely separate situations. So because of those experiences, I ended up writing my books, which are 225th Street and Nightmare in Holmes County. Okay. And we are now on the second editions of both books.
Okay.
And there's a lot more information in the second editions. A lot happened since I originally wrote the first editions. And so when we redid them, there's a lot more information included. And basically, I am working on another book, which will be called Shadows and Light, Volume 1. I'm currently working on that. I have a podcast called the Stranger Than Fiction podcast. It is on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Stranger Than Fiction podcast. And that's on YouTube and on Rumble. And I kind of talk, about the unexplained and things like that. But, from my perspective, which is a Christian perspective, and just kind of, hit some of these topics. I've interviewed people who have, had life after death experiences and experienced hell. Some experience heaven. People that have been possessed and got delivered. Things like that. That's kind of subjects we talk about on there, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, things like that.
Okay.
Some of the stuff that's out there on the fringe a little bit, but I think is relevant for the time that we live.
Oh, it's absolutely relevant. You know what? I'm so ecstatic that the past year and a half, that more and more people have been coming out with the situations that they may have been in when they were younger, their teens, young adults, and even my age, in the 40s and whatnot. It's much encouraged, and I'm super happy that you wrote these books and you have this podcast, and I find it truly interesting. These books are obviously based off what you went through.
Yes, Nightmare in Holmes County actually talks of the first house, and that was in Holmes County, Ohio, which is arguably the first or second largest population of Amish in the world.
Yes,
and it details my from 2002 to 2010, about roughly 8-year experience in that house, and what I went through there. And there was a lot of, I tried to be very honest and raw with people, and it was kind of hard to do because it was so personal, what I experienced. And, not only do you have the paranormal that you have to deal with in that situation, but you are under severe oppression. And the way that affects a person is very negative. It's not a nice thing to go through. And it was hard to be, to share some of that stuff and bring it back up. But I felt like, the way the story ended, I want people to really appreciate the way it ended. And they're not going to if I don't take them to all those terrible places I had to go.
Exactly.
Were there Well, I was going to ask one more question.
Oh, yeah.
Were there people that you were able to talk to when these experiences were happening? Or was this something that you literally had to go through by yourself?
There were people I talked to, but, you know, when you're in that environment, you get to a place where, you know, like, okay, so we moved in 2002, beginning of 2007, we divorced, okay?
Okay.
And from beginning of 2007 to the beginning of 2010, I was there by myself.
Ooh.
And you get to a place, we knew something was wrong before the divorce. We knew there was something wrong with the house and there was something paranormal.
Right.
But, you know, when you end up there then by yourself, you get to a place where you don't even care if people think you're crazy. You know, you're going to say what you're experiencing. And
right.
So there were people that I could talk to a point. You know, I talked to my mother a lot because she had even experienced things when she came to the house to see me. Some of my other family members experienced things, or my sister did.
Now,
did
this just happen in the house that you moved into, or was this happening in your childhood house too?
No. Well, I mean, I will say this. This situation in Holmes County was completely isolated from anything in my life previous to that.
Okay.
I did have some little oddball experiences as a child.
Yeah.
So there were some weird things here and there that I look back now and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of weird. But it's not like I was living in a full-fledged haunted house. You know, there were things that were strange. There were things that were supernatural that were good. I thought they were like divine intervention. And then there were things that, you know, were kind of scary. But I never dreamed that I'd ever live in a haunted house, you know.
Right.
And
I thought that
when I actually... Yeah, so when I found myself in this situation in Holmes County, I mean, I'm like scrambling trying to figure out what in the world is going on. And the crazy part was we built the house. Well, we had it built to our specs, and we did a lot of the work ourselves. So it was very strange. It was,
okay.
How can a new house, nothing could have happened here? How can this be haunted, you know?
Right.
And
you said it was
it came down
by the Amish, right?
Yes, there were Amish all around me in
so
Holmes County there.
Do you think that the Amish was like practicing like witchcraft or satanic or anything like that?
Yeah, both.
Oh, really?
100%.
Would they have put
there was an even bigger problem.
Spell on the house?
Yeah, there was an even bigger
curse?
problem. Oh, that was definitely going on for a fact. You know, when we had the house built, you know, I had never lived in Holmes County, and I figured these people keep themselves, they're going to leave me alone, I'll leave them alone, and everybody will get along fine. What I found out was when you move to their county, they think that they own you. They think they own, you don't own that property, we do.
What?
We'll come on your property when, you know, you owe us.
Really?
And I'm not somebody that takes kindly to that. And there were issues in the building process that we were completely gouged on, completely ripped off. And the builder had been born into an Amish family. He was an older gentleman.
Okay.
He had been born into an Amish family, but he left the Amish church, but he was still friendly with them, and he subcontracted a lot of work to them. And they basically determined, you know, there were things they did that were he did and the Amish did. And they were completely wrong, not what the building contract stated, all kinds of issues. And so we ended up butting heads with him, and we ended up getting an attorney. You know, after the house was built, we started finding all these problems. It started with hearing weird noises, like really creepy noises.
Yeah.
And we were like, what in the world? And as it turned out, we called in some house inspectors, and they found a bunch of issues with his building. And so we ended up getting an attorney, and the attorney happened to be the assistant prosecutor in Holmes County. Little did I know he was never going to go against anyone who was, you know, closely linked to the Amish because he liked his job.
Right.
So, yeah, in his private practice, he wasn't going to go against them. So he talked to him a little bit, and then he said, you know, if you decide to sue him, let me know if that's what you want to do. Well, we came to the conclusion we don't have any choice. We have to.
Yeah.
And the attorney would not return my calls then. So it came down to we ended up hiring a couple gentlemen from the church I grew up in, and they were brothers, really good guys. And they came out and they fixed everything. And we were like, you know what, let's just put this behind us, you know. And so now we're in the early 2003, you know, at this point. And these two gentlemen fix everything. They get everything straightened out how it should have been in the first place.
Right.
And strangely enough, weird things began happening. You know, those weird, really strange, loud noises, we were not having that anymore because the faulty workmanship that caused those was fixed now. But then we started having things that I could not explain. Like one day I was, it was actually at night, and we had when you came out of the garage into the house, we had a room. It was a small room that we called the mud room.
Okay.
And it had a utility tub, a washer and dryer, and a closet. And that's where we fed our cat and everything. You know, we had his food and water dish in there, and we had his litter boxes in that closet and whatnot.
Right.
And I'm in there putting food in his dish one night, and the dryer door opened by itself.
Oh, wow.
You know how a dryer door latches shut.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. This is really strange, you know? And then it began to get stranger, you know, little things, real subtle things at first. And we ended up getting a little kitten. My now ex, her mother's barn cat had kittens. A couple of them did, if I remember right. Okay. And we adopted this adorable little calico cat. And she was the cutest little thing, the most adorable personality.
I absolutely
and so
love
now
cats.
we're into like, oh, me too. I love them. They're awesome. But, you know, we're like now in probably late summer 2003.
Right.
And I'm in the mud room again one night, and I'm up, and you know, she's and in the book I named her Chelsea. I changed people's names just to, you know, I know nobody wants to go through the scrutiny I have gone through.
Oh, right.
So,
yeah, that's completely understandable.
Yeah, the details of the books are completely true, but I changed names.
Right.
And so Chelsea's upstairs in the bedroom, and I'm downstairs, you know, locking up all the doors, making sure everything's good to go. And I would always put food in the cat's dish before I went up to bed.
Right.
So I put food in their dish, and I see little Zoe, that dear little calico. She comes running in and runs over to the dish and starts eating. And I turned it, I looked right at her, and I thought, how cute. And I put the bag of food away in that closet, and I walked out of the room, left her in there sitting there eating, you know.
Right.
I walked through the house, into the foyer. I turned to go up the stairs, and Zoe is sitting on the top step, just sitting there staring at me.
Oh,
and I thought,
spooky.
that is impossible.
Spooky.
Yeah, I was like, that's impossible. And then I was like, that must have been Moses that I saw. Moses was our big tabby cat. He was a big boy, you know, he was a big cat.
Right.
But I was like, it had to be Moses I saw in there. But I'm thinking it wasn't. It was Zoe, but it had to have been Moses.
Right.
So I walk up the stairs, walk past Zoe, walk across the landing, and open the bedroom door, and there's Moses sleeping on the bed with my wife.
Oh, wow.
And so the next day, I'm kind of like, I have to tell you something, and I don't want you to think I'm crazy, but I have to tell you something. And she said, okay, what? So I told her the story, and she said, don't even tell me that. Don't even tell me that. And I'm waiting for her next words to be, you're crazy, you know?
Right.
And, yeah, she said, there are times when I'm home alone at night, you're at work, I'm downstairs in the basement using our elliptical, and she said, I will see Moses out of the corner of my eye run past. And I think, there's Moses. And then I remember he's upstairs, the door's shut, and we don't even allow him in the basement, and he's not there.
This is shockingly familiar to things that we have been through.
Yeah, because, I mean,
that's why I know this guy is telling the truth.
Well, you know, spirits kind of come in so many different ways, and I suppose maybe since you already had cats, maybe they thought they could get away with coming around as a cat?
I think they were just flat out messing with us. You know, in my opinion, and I consider that a doppelganger, because it's an exact solid form, looks exactly like that animal.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that those are you think of doppelgangers normally as it appears as a person.
Yeah.
But this was not. These were like exact replicas of of Zoe. And
that is unbelievable.
So
wow.
Things, they began to get stranger. And, of course, then we start fighting. We start having all kinds of marital problems.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did your guys' attitudes change or anything like that?
Yeah, how did it affect everything?
Honestly, I think in those environments, when you move into that environment, a lot of people have things they deal with in their own mind things they've been through or whatever.
Right.
And they deal with that on their own, and try to, keep it to themselves. But when you move into an environment like that, those things know your whole history. And they're like, I know where I can mess with you.
Yeah, and sometimes
and
they attach
will
themselves
do that.
to you, too.
Yes, yeah. And I think that they honestly, I was probably affected too, but not to the same degree.
Right.
And, so it really messed with the marriage and everything, and activity continued. Activity did continue though, and so we eventually, it got to the point where it was, I went to a church that was, fairly conservative church, and I'm talking to I was really good friends with my pastor, and I'm talking to him one day, and I'm thinking he's going to think I'm crazy, but I have to ask him this.
Right.
And I said, Pastor Steve, I got a question for you. And he said, okay. And I said, have you ever seen dark shadows out of the corner of your eye, but when you look, there's nothing there?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said, his exact word, and this guy is a very conservative individual, and he said, yes, I've seen that. He said, I've had it before where I was praying, and when I opened my eyes, it was like there was something black sitting there, and it moved away real fast when I opened my eyes.
Oh, yes.
And he said, it's probably something demonic. And he said, but listen, he said, do yourself a favor, go get your eyes checked. Maybe there's something wrong with your eyes. I said, okay, that's fair. So I go to the eye doctor, and it's the funniest thing. I go to this eye doctor, and he's checking my eyes, and so I kind of bring up during the eye exam, I said, so what's the deal when you see something out of the corner of your eye and you look and then there's nothing there? And he said, light or like shadows? And I said, well, it's always shadows. It's always dark. And he said, well, if it's light, it could be that you're beginning to have a detached retina, and you'll start seeing like flashes of light out of the corner of your eye.
Oh.
And he said that means you could have a detached retina. And he said, but if you're seeing something dark, he said, that's spirits. That's his exact words. The eye doctor tells me this.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay, great. And he told me, he goes, yeah, because there's houses around here, and at this point, his office was in Dover, Ohio. He said, there's stuff that goes on around here. I know about houses around here that are haunted, and some of the well-to-do families' houses and whatnot, But he I felt a little bit of comfort, like I'm not crazy, and this is validation that my eyes are okay. There was nothing wrong with my eyes.
Yeah.
But as things just get worse and worse and worse, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm really feeling like there's something evil here, and it's attacking our marriage. So I even walked the property by myself with a bottle of olive oil, and anointed the property, and in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Said you have to leave something evil here. Anointed the inside of the house, which I recommend that to anybody. But the one thing I will say is, a lot of times, for it to be effective, you have to be very specific about breaking the curse that opened the door to something that's there.
That's correct.
And if you are not specific, those demons will be like, you don't even know why I'm here. You can't break the legal right, so I still have the legal right to be here, so shut up and leave me alone. That's kind of their attitude.
Right,
they will
exactly.
not
and then you have to shut the door too, right?
What's that?
If you open the door to something that you're not knowing that you actually opened the door, you have to shut the door too. Not only do you have to bless it, you have to shut it.
And then you have to figure how to shut it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically have to, when something happens like this, when you have a haunting like this, where it's full on, it is demonic. It's something. It's dark. It's there's no question. It comes down to something happened there at some point, something bad, and doors were opened, and demons were like, "Thank you very much, I'm coming through," and they will do that.
It can be something. It can be something small. It can be something big, and it can be things that you wouldn't even imagine that they can just. I don't know how to put it. Squeeze into this dimension.
Well, it could even be just the fact that if you have such a negative attitude, you could bring it through, because there's one specific demon that thrives on negativity.
Depression, and things like that. Like a pig lord. He's a pig lord, actually. I forgot his true name, but there's multiple reasons why you would have a demon attached to you, for whatever reason. What really gets me is that you said that you built this house on your own.
So did you look into the property and see if there's anything to do with the property?
That's what I ended up finding out, and it took me years. And it was, I went through several years. We end up getting a divorce. I'm there alone.
Right.
Once the divorce happened, it was like the wheels fell off. Things began happening more and more and more. And it was things like...
It was feeding off of you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And here's the other thing. You go through a divorce. Nobody wants to go through a divorce.
Right.
So now you have all this negative baggage here, because now you're depressed. Now you feel bad. You're dealing with all that negativity, and you're sad. And they're like, what we like, this is what we feed on. We and then what they really want, they want to either kill you themselves, or they want to make you take yourself out, because they hate you.
Yeah, they want to drive you crazy.
I gotta say real quick, I understand about the divorce factor and getting depressed and things like that, and something does happen to attach to you. Okay, I went through almost word for word, except the fact that I didn't build my house in Fowlerville, Michigan. When my fiance left me, when she was cheating on me, and for almost a year, that house, there was something in that house that absolutely hated me.
Yeah.
Okay, and wanted me gone.
Right.
Okay, or killed.
Yeah.
One of the two. I'll put it this way. There were more than one occasion where at 3 a.m, I would be running out the front door and standing in my front yard looking back into my house. Okay?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff.
I'll tell you. Oh, absolutely. And there's a couple good points there. One, you said 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4. Always.
Those hours. And before my ex
those are the
left,
witching hours.
I came home.
Those are true witching hours.
Yes. I came home in October of 2006, one Saturday afternoon. She was gone, and I knew, man, this is gone. I know that, Well, it took me a couple of days to figure out where she was and get a hold of her. And she told me, now I'm going to take her word for this, and by the time the story plays out, I 100% believe that she was telling the truth, because there were so many more things that happened in the years following that were similar to what she told me that I have to believe her. But what she told me was, she said that she wanted a divorce, and then she said that the previous night at 3 o'clock in the morning, she heard someone ring the doorbell and let themselves in the house.
Okay.
And
All right, I gotta stop you real quick, Patrick. I know I seen the smile that came right on your face, Jen. There was a point at about 3 o'clock in the morning at the place that I was living at, that I was speaking about in Fowlerville, Michigan, where I heard the front door open, And when you're with somebody, you know what they do when they come in the house. Say if you're the husband and the wife comes in, they might set their purse down and they do something, then they start walking back to the back room. I heard this stuff exactly, to the point that I got up and I waited at the threshold of the bedroom door. I saw a shadow that resembled her form coming towards the back room. I could hear her coat, the way it jingled and this and that, and just the way she walked and the sounds that were made. And when I went to peek my head out of the threshold to say, wow, you came back to talk, nobody was there and the door was locked.
And the cat went crazy.
And the cat that I had was like standing in the hallway looking at me like, get your ass back in the bedroom and shut the door immediately. It was the craziest thing, and with you bringing that up, that's the first thing I thought of. I truly thought that my ex was coming back to talk to me at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Well, like at my house in Sioux Falls, it was 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's always
I know. And we heard some weird noises. It was like upstairs, like how they make an attic or whatever, kind of into like a bedroom and stuff. Okay, so that's what was going on, and it had one of those like old screened-in doors and stuff like that. So it's like you could hear something like, obviously the screech of the the wire or whatever from opening the door. And I heard something all the time at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, but nothing was there, and I always got scared to, go up there and everything, because, I could sense things. I always could see things when I was younger. I just, I saw shadows. I couldn't actually see them, until I got in my car accident, and that's when I saw them. And here's the thing is that, okay, there was one day where one night, it was around, like I said, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. My daughter was in her room, and she was giggling and looking up at the ceiling. And I could hear something like on the baby monitor, so I went in to go see what it was. I looked up on the ceiling, and there were 3 claw prints, like it had been walking across the ceiling.
Wow. A little spooky.
Very much. And I will...
go ahead.
The crazy part with this, I when she told me that, I said, that didn't happen. I said, I was downstairs on the couch. I said, I would have woken up if somebody rang the doorbell and came in the house. And I said, I didn't hear anything, and I certainly didn't let anybody in.
Right.
And she was like, well, I did. Well, the strange part then, it would be hypocritical for me to doubt what she said, because I had so many experiences after that involving the front door and the foyer. So many experiences. And, it got to the point where, it was so bad, the things that were going on. And, once I'm there by myself, though, it's like things are happening like, okay, if you thought it was haunted, all doubt is removed. Now you know. I woke up on a February 11th, 2007, 10 days after the divorce. It's a Sunday afternoon. We got a massive snowfall beginning on Friday. Friday, before it got bad, I brought my dogs into the garage, because I had a big kennel I built for them out back, and I brought them in, and they were... Every few couple hours, I would take them out and take them for a walk so they could go to the bathroom and everything.
Right.
But when we walked out of the garage, we walked to the front of the house and down the driveway, not the back of the house.
Ah.
So I did that whole weekend. Well, Sunday, I wake up and the house is freezing. And I'm like, how can the house be freezing? I have plenty of propane in the propane tank. I just looked last week, and it was at 40%, and it's a 1,000-gallon tank.
Right.
There's no way I'm out of propane.
Right.
So I'm like, I can't figure out, that the furnace isn't working. I'm freezing. So I call my propane supplier, and it's a Sunday afternoon, and he says, well, I will do an emergency delivery, but I have to charge more. He said, so before I do that, why don't you go out and check the vent on your regulator? Well, I don't even know what that means, but I'm like, okay, walk me through it, you know. So I have my cordless phone, not a cell, I have a cordless phone. I walk out the patio door and around the back of the house, and around like the corner of the side of the house, there's like this little area that's like recessed. And that is where the regulator was. And the regulator is where, you know, we got an underground propane tank. A pipe goes from there, comes out of the ground, goes up into the regulator. The regulator's mounted to the side of the house.
Okay.
The pipe goes into the regulator, and then another pipe comes out of the regulator inside the house and goes to the furnace. Okay? So I walked around there, and I'm like, you're going to have to walk me through this because I don't know what I'm doing. And he said, no problem. I'll do it. I'll do that.
Right.
So I walked around the house, and I walked up to the regulator, and there's snow all the way up to the bottom of the regulator because we've had so much snow. So he said, now you want to check this vent on your regulator? And I'm like, whatever, okay. So I lean over and I gently push all of the snow away from the bottom of the regulator, exposing the pipe that goes out of the bottom of the regulator and into the ground. When I do that, the shutoff valve on that pipe is turned sideways. And he's trying to explain this vent to me, and I said, wait a second. I said, I have this valve right here. There's this arm here on the pipe. I said, it's turned sideways. And he said, well, that's your problem. Shut off your propane. And I said, I didn't touch this. I have never touched this. And he said, okay, I believe you, but somebody did. And I said, you don't understand. I had heat last night. This snow has been here since Friday.
That's what I was going to say. The snow was there, so you would have proof if somebody messed around with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Snow was completely undisturbed. He told, and it was. I said, the snow is completely undisturbed. There's no footprints. He said, I can't explain that, but he said, turn that valve straight up and down. Turn that arm straight up and down. You'll hear the gas go through the pipe. Go back in the house then and light your pilot light, and you'll have heat. I did as he instructed. When I opened up the valve, you could hear the gas go through the pipe, just like he said. I went in and lit my pilot light and was fine. I was like, that is 100%. That removes all doubt. That is 100% impossible.
Oh, yeah, without question.
Oh, yes.
So at that point, I was like, okay, whatever I suspected and thought, now all doubt is removed.
Yeah.
And I began having, you know, the next almost 3 years, it was like hell on earth. And the reason I named the book Nightmare in Holmes County, many times I would say to my mother, I'd be talking to her on the phone because I could vent all how bad I was feeling and what was going on. And I would say, I feel like I'm in a nightmare, but I can't wake up. That's why I named the book
like a night terror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And, you know, I'm trying to sell the house. And then the market collapses. You know, I'm going through, and I knew there was a bunch of equity in the house.
Oh yeah, this was like 2008, wasn't it? Roundabouts.
Yeah, yes. And I had assumed all of the marital debt because I knew there was a bunch of equity in the land and the house.
Yeah.
And because we had done a bunch of work on the house, the property values had gone up. You know, so I knew that, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to get out of the situation. Well, I can't get it to sell. And while not only do you have all that stress of I'm making this massive house payment by myself, and I'm having all these horrific things happening to me. And I'm talking things like, you would feel an evil presence come in the room with you. At one point it happened, and I stood up and I tried to walk out of the room. And I was scared. And it felt like I was it almost felt like somebody was holding me back. I'm trying to get out of the room. I feel like my legs weigh a ton. I can't push through this. It's almost like walking through a massive current of water that's pushing you back.
That's right.
But there was no water. You know,
it was terrible. I know what you're talking about. The way it felt to me, it was, like I just said, a night terror where you know what's going on, but you can't really do what you want to do. Like, I'm going to get the hell out of there, but I can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it gets so bad. You know, in that situation, when that one happened, I got up and I walked out of my office. I finally got out of there and I ran out to the phone in the kitchen area. And I grabbed the phone off the wall and I go to call my mom, and it was dial-up internet in those days.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm hearing that dial-up internet sound, and I'm like, oh no, I got to go back in there and disconnect the internet.
Yeah.
Which was, I was so scared. Well, as time wore on, I'm having experiences like one night I'm sitting in my, we called it the great room. It was the living room that was right inside when you came out of the mud room if you came into the garage.
Okay.
And it had a vaulted ceiling with a fireplace and blah, blah, blah. It was a nice room. And the way we had the house built, it was very open. I could sit in that great room, and I could look all the way over to the other side of the house and see the kitchen. I could see where, you walked right through that open area, and you turned left, you walked into the foyer and went to the front of the house. If you turned right, you went to the into the sunroom, and then there was a door that went out around the back of the house,
Yeah.
There was a patio out there.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm sitting there one night, and I am not even, this is at a time I'm not even having like any scary feelings. I'm not freaked out. And I'm sitting there on the couch. I think I was sitting there eating, and Moses and Zoe were sitting off to my left on the floor. And I'm just like, I just happened to be, I'm eating, and I looked up, and I'm just looking straight ahead. When I looked up, like I towards the fireplace, out of my right periphery, I saw a black mass pass right, like it came through the sunroom, passed right through that big area, and disappeared into the foyer. But when I saw that out of the corner of my right eye, I'm looking straight ahead, so I can also see Moses and Zoe out of the corner of my left eye.
Right.
Moses and Zoe's heads looked up and went from right to left, following the trajectory of the black mass that went through the room.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, you didn't imagine that. Kat saw it too. It was unbelievable. One night, and now while I'm going through all this, I'm having all these issues where the Amish they want my land. It's for sale. And they're like, we want it, but we're not paying what it's worth. We're going to make him lose everything. And they were constantly messing with
Wow.
True shitstorm just all around you. My God.
Oh, it was terrible. I always say it was a perfect storm.
Yeah, absolutely.
One night I go to my kitchen sink, and it's about 1 o'clock roughly in the morning.
Right.
And I'm standing at the kitchen sink, and I'm mixing up some apple cider vinegar and a cup of water.
Okay.
And I always drank that before bed. And in front of me, right behind the sink, is the window. And there's no curtains over the window. So, I have an overhead light that's on, on the ceiling of the kitchen. Right. And it is behind where I'm standing.
Okay.
And right when I mix up, my concoction and I start to drink it, I tip my head back. And when I tip my head back, I look straight at the window. My eyes just fell right on the window. Right. It's light inside, pitch dark outside, so I can see my reflection almost like a mirror. When I saw my reflection, I saw there was a black shadow, like a shadow person standing over my left shoulder. And when I saw it, it's like it knew I saw it, and it disappeared in a downward motion.
Wow. Did you ever take photos there? And when you took photos there, did you ever see any orbs or shadows kind of show up in the photos?
I have pictures of that do have orbs. I have pictures that there was another strange situation. As as the haunting went on, it got worse and worse and worse. And the closer I got to finding out the whole story of why there was a haunting there, the activity escalated more and more and more.
Of course.
And there were things that actually move in.
Oh.
And,
wow.
And I have a picture one night, on the sides of my front door, and I have pictures of all this in the book. But the door was a steel door, the front door was.
Okay.
And on each side of it, there was those vertical windows.
Right.
So the vertical windows, it's all part of the doorway, and it's all steel. And the steel part that's, around the vertical windows, there's a strip of wood between those and the steel door, So I had put, because I'd been messed with so bad by the Amish, my mom made me these really nice curtains, and she sewed magnets in them the whole way down the sides of them.
Okay.
And then I used curtain rods, and I put them on those windows so you could not come to my front door and look in those vertical windows and watch me.
Oh.
So
cool.
One night, this is later towards the end of everything. Now, it happened twice. I'll tell you the first one first.
Okay.
I mean, I was with them. I was trying to find help anywhere I could. And at this point, I had figured out that the Amish were into witchcraft. And I was like, they're cursing me.
That
They
is
hate me. They're always messing
I
with
did
me.
not
They're
know
cursing.
that.
Yeah, it was crazy. But, so one night I'm driving home from work, and, well, before I get to that point, the first incident,
Yeah.
I had contacted a pastor. It was one of my friends' preacher. And I remembered that years earlier, my friend said, Pastor Jim talks about curses and generational curses, and he preaches about that stuff. And it always stuck in my mind, that's kind of cool. So I contacted this Pastor Jim, and I said, hey, I told him what was going on. And he said, why don't you come to my house? I'll meet with you. So I went in and talked to him. And he was helpful, but there's some other details I'm going to leave out just for time's sake. But he was helpful, and some other people from the church came, and they prayed with me. In a couple situations, there were things that were bad that changed after that, but I still did not get delivered, okay? Well, somewhere along the line, he had recommended, there's a guy that used to come to our church that's an evangelist out your way, and you should talk to him. And he told me his name. So I had gotten a hold of this guy, and he said, sometime I'll stop out at the house and I will talk to you. I'll help you. So one morning, I wake up and the dog's barking, and I wake up and I hear somebody knocking. And so this guy pulled in the driveway and came up and knocked, and I was like, I don't know who that is. I'm not getting out. I'm tired. I got like another hour I can sleep. So I continued sleeping. And when I went down later, I was like, I got to go out and feed the dogs and whatnot. So I walk out the garage door, and I look at my car, and there's a note on my windshield. What? And I go over and read it, and here it's from that gentleman who told me he would help me. And I was like, oh, man, that was him. And it said, I came here and I walked in your driveway and prayed, call me. And it had his name, his phone number. And I was like, yeah, I bet something happened. But I go back, I feed the animals, I feed Maggie and Copper out in their kennel. I walk back in the house, and I'm feeling kind of good, like, oh, man, finally somebody's going to help me. And I walk through the house, and I walk into the foyer, and on the right-hand side of the front door, the magnetic curtain rod was completely moved at the top. The rest of it, from the top foot down, it was completely undisturbed, but at the top it was moved. And I was like, that's impossible. That is impossible. You know, so when I got a hold of him, I said, did you have something happen? And he said, yeah, why? And I said, I did too. And I said, I went out and got your note, and I came in, and I told him all about the curtain was moved on its own. And he said, here's what I had happen. He said, when I got out of my car onto your land, I could feel that there's something bad there. And he said, I started walking around. He said, I actually said out loud, I said, you stinking demons are going to leave this guy alone. And he said, I started praying. And he said, I had a Rottweiler and a Beagle. And he says, do you have a dog that howls like a wolf? And I said, no, I have a Rottweiler and a Beagle. Did you hear him barking? And he said, no, that is not what I'm talking about. That is not what I'm talking about. He said, do you have any dog that howls like a wolf? I said, no, absolutely not. I have a Rottweiler and a Beagle, and they bark, He said, yeah. When I started praying, he said, I started hearing, it sounded like a wolf howling. And he said, I really knew that it was spiritual, but he said, I had to ask you anyway and make sure. So, of course, I never heard any of that,
Yeah.
And so that was the first time that curtain moved by itself right beside the front door, okay? The second time, we're now into the fall, and believe me, I'm leaving out all kinds of creepy details and creepy events that happened to me because there was a lot of
I can imagine.
Creepy, very bad.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I'm driving home one night. Now, keep in mind, at this point, and I believe it was the 13th, Friday the 13th, if I'm remembering right. But I'm driving home, and I mean, you got to think, I've had this house on the market almost 3 years, 2.5 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot get it sold, and I'm thinking I'm going to lose everything probably next year because there's no way I can keep making these house payments, you know.
Right.
So I'm pretty much down and out at this point, and I'm driving home, and I start arguing with God. You know, I'm praying and I'm arguing, and I said, you know what? I don't even believe anymore. I don't believe anymore. I said, I can't take this anymore. I said, if you want to fix the situation, that's up to you, but I don't believe anything anymore. I don't care. If you fix it, that's on you. That's how I'm talking. That's not safe. That's not a smart place to be.
No.
But I was so depressed and down and oppressed. Well, I get home, and I walk in the house, and I go upstairs and check my answering machine in my bedroom. And now keep in mind, I would have come in the house and walked through the house into the foyer facing the front door, walked towards the front door, turned right, going up the stairs, turned left, going into the bedroom. I would have seen if that curtain was messed up, I would have seen that.
Yeah.
Right. I come out from my bedroom upstairs, and I turn to go down the stairs, and as soon as I turn and I'm facing the front door, I'm like, oh no. And the same thing, the curtain is, the whole top section of the curtain and the magnetic curtain rod is completely moved, and the curtain rod that's magnetic has been lifted away from the metal of the steel frame around the window, and it's hanging over the wood strip between the door, the steel door and the steel window frame. That's impossible. Wow. And I mean, I was real fast.
Right.
You talked about, I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for my horrible attitude. I was scared to death.
Yeah.
And that night,
I absolutely would be too, my friend. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it was scary, and I knew, like, okay, you put your guard down, and you gave that a right to start messing with you because you just said you confessed that you said you don't believe.
Yep.
So I was repentant quick, and I called my mom and I said, hey, I told her what happened, and she said, well, I'm coming out there. She lived 3 counties away from me. I said, no, you don't have to do that. She said, yeah, I am. I'm coming out there. You're out there by yourself. I'm coming out to see you, which honestly was pretty nice.
Right.
So in the meantime, I go out and I took pictures of everything.
Right.
And the pictures I took outside, it does look like there's lots of orbs in the pictures. And the other strange part was, it was not a wooded area around my house. It was all big open fields. On the whole other side of a huge field, there was a wooded area, but not near my house.
Yeah.
And there was, between my yard and my field and the neighbor's field above me, there was like a tree line. It was like, not like trees. It's straggly little trees that just grew up there,
Right.
But it's not mowed down. It's bushes and things like that. And in the backyard, I keep hearing an owl. And I'm like, I don't see anything, but I mean, I went right to where, like, it has to be right there in the tree line, right in front of me. How is it I'm not seeing anything?
Right.
And I could not see anything. Now, that can be a sign. Indians believe that. The American Indians did.
Yeah.
Owls can be bad signs. But, as everything went on, eventually the gentleman that came there and had heard the dog howling and everything, he and a group from his church came to the house finally. And it was not a real beneficial meeting, other than the one lady from that church had what she called a gift of discerning of spirits.
Okay.
Because she had this spiritual gift that she could discern demons. So they came in the house, and we go, we all go into where the dining room used to be, where there used to be a dining room table, and we're standing there, and we were kind of standing in a circle praying. And as we're praying, she looks at me and she says, "It's telling me its name. Do you want to know its name?" And I said, "Yeah, what's its name?" And she said, "It calls itself the doorkeeper."
Doorkeeper.
Yes. And the way she said it, it calls itself that. It was very strange. My mind's racing, and I'm thinking all these situations around the front door. You know, I believe me, there's many I haven't even told, you know, the doorbell ringing and nobody's there, seeing a shadow go across the porch like somebody walked across the porch. There's nobody there. Yeah. You know, all kinds of stories that I have not even shared.
But then
and
it
my
makes
mind's
sense,
racing
too, because if it's the doorkeeper, then it's hell happening around the door.
That's exactly. The other thing I will say is I have found in exorcism, there is usually if a person has multiple demons, one of those demons will be called a gatekeeper demon, and its whole function is to bring in other demons or let out the lesser demons. If you're trying to get rid of them, it will let out weaker ones to try to trick you into thinking you got rid of everything.
Wow!
But they are the gatekeeper. Yeah, they are the gatekeeper. And I'm like, is that what this is, you know? So she walks down my stairs into my basement. And now, from the time we had built the house, there had been a crack that appeared in the front wall of the basement. And it just so happened to be right underneath the front door of the house.
Right.
I noticed it while they were still building. They told me they would replace all the blocks. It looked like they did.
Okay.
Well, it reappeared later after we're living there. I had patched it multiple times, but it was there, you know. She walks right up to that crack and she points at it and she said, "What's directly above this?" Now, keep in mind, this was a big house, so you wouldn't just walk down in a house you've only been in, this is your first time, and know what's above you in the basement. You would not be, you know. So she asked me, she said, "What's right above this?" And I said, "The front door." And she goes, "That crack is significant." She goes upstairs, goes to the front door, and she moved her hand back and forth like motioning between the door and the front living room off to the side of the foyer. And she said, "They come and go through here." That's her exact words.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, I had asked these people repeatedly, "Will you walk the property with me?" I believe we have to do it in agreement, and a lot of what I've already done, but I know more now. I know things I didn't know before, and what I had found out was, that I had heard that there were Indians that encamped all along this area where your house is now. There was a large creek just below my property, and so that made a perfect place. It was a beautiful piece of land, rolling hills, and a water supply right below. So the Indians camped along there.
Right.
Well, what I ended up finding out, well, number one, when she shared that night, it was one valuable thing I learned was I knew its name.
Yeah.
Now, when they left, they did not want to walk the property with me because it had rained and got muddy. And I'm thinking, man, I would do it for somebody else, but whatever. Okay, fine. I'm being nice about it, but I'm frustrated.
Right.
So I called my mom and I said, that was worthless except for one thing. And she said, "What?" And I told her the story. I said, "I know its name now." And she said, "What's its name?" And I told her. I said, it calls itself the doorkeeper. And she said, "I'm coming out there."
Wow.
I said, "You don't have
you know what?
No, I'm coming out." She goes, "That would bother me."
Right.
We're going to hit the break, but I want to continue this. This is insane. So, Jennifer, you got anything to say so far?
Oh,
I mean,
it's
a lot of the
crazy,
stuff
and
that he said.
It's crazier because he's going to talk when he comes back about his second experience.
I like what I like. Me, I know my rights.
Well, this is NTR. We'll be right back.
I do what I want. It's what it is. For my son and son. For my daughters, yeah, it's for my twin. I work through the night. I do what I like. Get a check. I go for the ride. I've been down a ride for the win. Still move on the hush. Never run for none. I face my fears. I just drop for 9 months to month. Still from year to year. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chris from the White House, and you're listening to NTRN, the fastest growing all-topic conservative broadcast in the great upper Midwest, as well as the Great Lakes region. Stay dialed in. More NTRN is just ahead.
Honey, something's happened. There's a man who has put a bomb in the car. We can't get out. The car will explode. What do you want?
Do exactly what I say or I kill you and your kids.
You're all here focused on me. You set me up and you all bought it. I can find him. Hang on, kid!
Retribution, rated R, in theaters August 25th.
Tonight I'll reach out and touch the sky. In the city of angels, feels like I'm coming home. With my head up in the clouds, I am searching for something, and I'm still hoping. 'Cause I wanna be in, not out, wanna make this all count. Yes, I wanna go crazy now, gonna make this all count. Feeling like a rock
Welcome to the city, it's a turn on. Get it all, get it, baby, but don't say I love you.
Streaming to you live from Spreaker.com and somewhere deep in the great upper Midwest. If you're ready for a ride, you can call NTR anytime by dialing the nationwide caller line at 1-507-384-9390. First-time callers can reach Night Talks Radio at 1-507-307-4424. Text Daniel and NTR exclusively at 1-218-689-7126. Now, from somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's your hosts, Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
Welcome back to this crazy Tuesday, August the 22nd. It's actually Wednesday, August the 23rd now. We are talking about some crazy paranormal activity. Jennifer, what do you think about this so far?
Yeah, this is absolutely insane, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, you and I have been through some crazy stuff too and everything, but
that's, you know,
this is spooky. I mean, I would have been on that house a long time ago.
the things that he's saying is so similar to some of the stuff that we experienced.
It is.
Not only in the past 10 years or so, but individually before we had actually met, you know.
Right, yeah.
I mean, going back to my mother opening the bag of incense that these random witches, they call themselves, she got a bag of incense from, and they told her, do not open this bag up. It was for fortune or something like that.
Right.
And, you know, my mom, after 2 weeks, she was like, my shit ain't gonna work. And she opened it up, and then, yeah, sure, it was incense, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And that night, when I was sleeping in my room, I was like 14 or 15 years old. We had a neighbor who had a chopper, you know, next door. And it was about 3 in the morning. Here we go again, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I thought this dude was out there drunk as hell, revving up his chopper, man. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? You know, this was in the early stages of my, you know, like, I need medical therapy anger. so I start getting up, you know, and I'm walking, you know, out of the room and getting closer to the door to the front area so I can see. And as I get up, it's getting louder and louder and louder. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Right. It starts to morph into this super loud, the way I can explain it is hog.
Oh,
like a giant freaking hog.
Oh, okay.
God. Now at this point, I'm like, okay, that this is fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like my mid-teens, you know. So, you know, everything's dark in the house, you know, and this thing is getting to the point where I gotta cover my ears. It's getting so loud, you know. It's like a hog snorting.
Yeah.
So I flipped on the hallway lights.
Yeah.
And at the time, my mom was an NTRN, I do believe.
Okay.
And she slept on the futon in the front room.
Oh, okay.
And around the corner of the hallway, when I turned that light on, the sound was gone. Just whoop, gone, done, right?
Spooked it.
She's sitting up, looking at me, looking at her in the hallway. And she goes, well, you know my mom.
Yeah.
Her temper is, you know, it doesn't take that much, right? So she goes, Daniel, what the fuck are you doing over my head? And I said, Ma, you know, I'm over here in the hallway. What the hell was that pig sounding shit? You know?
Exactly.
And my mom goes, what are you talking about? You were above me. And you were putting your hand over my head down towards to my eyes. I could see your fingers starting to cover my eyes. And you had some of those things you got from Halloween that make you look like you got long, sharp nails and such.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, first off, I went to take a shit. And then then I came back out and I said, I swear on everything that I was not even close to you. I said I heard a giant pig.
Yeah.
And she went on a little bit further to say all she could hear was this sort of low frequency laughter.
Oh.
When the hand was coming down.
Oh, man.
And at that point, I did not ever, in that apartment complex, never went to sleep unless, like, all the lights were on in the house. And both my dogs were in the room, and just reruns of, like, Maury Povich were on.
Yeah.
So it was the most freaky thing, but now, with Patrick, it's almost like I automatically feel a sort of bond because telling normal people, they're like, wow, that's pretty crazy, man. It's like you have to be in that situation to understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
It is in the top 3 most scariest things that's happened in my entire life. I'm 43 years old.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't even heard of my experience where I've had a ghost actually help me, like, heal me. Like,
you got different things. You got like the light side of stuff. I think me and Patrick.
I have some dynamic. I had that one house that like just appeared right into a big pit of fire, and stuff.
Yeah, you had poltergeist, exorcist type shit. Let's get Patrick back on the show there. Hey, Patrick, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yeah, let's pick off where we left off because, like I said, I completely... excuse me?
Let's pick off? That's what you said. Let's pick up.
Pick up. Pick off. Let's pick this guy off, man. He's got demons and stuff all on him. All right, no, let's do this. Let's continue where we... yes.
Where we left off.
We left off.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Okay, so this group came and this lady had identified that she said that this thing was calling itself the doorkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I called Mom after she left and I said, I don't think that their visit was very beneficial, except I know its name now.
Yeah.
And there was something, it was more personal and, I don't know how to say it. It was very personal and more like there was evil more. Like I felt the evil more directly than I did before. Now that I know its name, it's been identified.
Yeah, yeah.
And the crazy part. She drove 3 counties out, and she said, I'll sit here in the living room tonight, and I'll just stay up and pray. Well, I go upstairs, and I'm upstairs in the bathroom, and I feel the floor shaking. I'm trying to get ready for bed, and I feel the floor shaking.
The floor shaking?
So I get downstairs.
Wow.
Yeah, it felt like it was vibrating, like the floor was vibrating.
Okay.
And thought that was strange.
Yeah,
and
I went back downstairs. Ran out of the house.
Yeah, I would have been gone.
My mom's sitting there, and she asked me if there was, the door stops that are like a big spring, and if you flick them sideways, they make a noise. So I had those kind of door stops, and the door that was for the mudroom, it was open, and my mom's sitting in this chair right beside that door, right beside the fireplace, and she said, "Did you have one of those door stops around here that says boing when you hit it?" And I said, yeah, right behind the door. Why did the cat hit it? I'm thinking the cats were messing with it, that's all. And she said, no, the cats were nowhere near. She said, they're not even in the room. And she said, I heard that, like something clicked it makes that noise. And I mean, at this point, this thing's only, I said, well, it's right here behind this door. So it's like a few feet from where she's sitting.
Right.
And I said, when did that happen? And she said, about 5 minutes ago. And I said, well, 5 minutes ago, I was upstairs in the bathroom, and I heard, or I felt the floor shaking. So I just thought, man, this place is messed up. But I go on up, and I go to bed, and I go to sleep. And the next morning, she told me that, she was sitting there. And before I went up to bed, I said, do you want me to turn off all the lights or leave? She said, leave the lights on that are mounted underneath the cupboards. We had lights mounted underneath our cupboards. She said, just leave those lights on. I said, okay. She told me the following morning that she was sitting there, and she said, that shadow thing you saw, that black shadow? And I said, yeah. Right. And she said, I saw it come through the foyer and went right through the kitchen area and disappeared.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's messed up, So things begin, and there was always this residue. I started paying attention to it. It was on the front door. There was a half circle window on the front door. And I always thought, well, that's just residue from when we bought the door, and there was a sticker there or something.
Right.
But the problem was, while the house was for sale, I had open houses, and my mom and my sister helped me clean everything, get everything ready, and they had cleaned that off, and it would come back. So that was strange. And to me, that residue, I always felt like I could kind of see a face in the residue. So I took pictures of that. But
I would love to see that.
Yeah, as time wore on, it just got, the activity just got worse and worse. So, I'm being messed with by the Amish like you would not. They're messing with my realtor. They're messing with me. And they're trying to trick.
You're dealing with multiple things.
Was it possible that you
terrible.
built on top of an Indian burial ground?
Well, not exactly, but I'll get to it in just a minute.
Okay.
They're just flat out messing with me, and they're trying to get my realtor to get me to allow them to have what they said was their bank come and appraise my property. And I said, why would I do that? The house, we're not even negotiating. Why would I let their bank?
Oh my gosh.
And what they wanted to do was they wanted to appraise it low and devalue it so they could buy it real cheap.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely.
So I got very angry, and I told my realtor to tell them, I said, use these exact words. You tell that cult not to ever contact me again. I do not deal with cults.
Right.
I was furious.
Oh, yeah.
So that night, I'm down and out. I mean, I'm really bottoming out. I'm super depressed, and they're messing with me. And now I had been researching. Now during this whole time of going through these things, I began researching exorcism and learning as much as I could, because I was like, I know what's here is demonic, and I can't figure out why I can't get it to leave. But the crazy part was I began having people contact me and say, hey, I think I might need an exorcism. Wow. And so the crazy part was I would actually go do an exorcism on a person, and then I would come home, and I'm like, why can't I cast demons out of this person, but I can't cast them out of my own house? Right. And then I'm thinking, so imagine how mad these demons are now that I just helped somebody, and now I'm back here in this house. I would literally go to sleep laying on my couch with a Bible open on my chest.
Oh, dude.
I mean, it was unbelievable. And so I'm researching constantly, and along the way, I had gotten these DVDs from a pastor named Perry Stone.
Okay.
And I got them because the title of the DVD was Purging Your House. And he talked about you can have a haunted house, and you can be messed with by demons and all this stuff. So I was like, I need to know what he has to say. So I bought these DVDs. And that night after, I told my realtor to tell the Amish what I thought of them, I go upstairs, and I am bumming out. I'm down, And I go in my bedroom, and I'm watching those videos to fall asleep. It got so weird. The main things that helped me sleep were Bob Larson DVDs talking about casting out demons and spiritual warfare, or Perry Stone, stuff normally. And the other thing is, in between all that, I would be watching episodes of Ghost Hunters and A Haunting, because I was like, okay, some of these people are talking about they're dealing with hauntings that are demonic, and maybe I'll learn something from them, So I'm like, constantly. This is my whole life. Everything's revolving around.
It's so frantic. Like, it's stressing me out right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy.
So it was
I
almost
go to
like
my room
it was an opening,
Oh.
like God was showing you a sign that this is what you were supposed to do.
There's no question about it. Because if I had to go through that to learn what I know now, you can't learn this by going to a seminary or a college or even going to be taught by most pastors. Most pastors ignore spiritual warfare.
Right.
And what I believe is there is a war going on around us in the spirit realm 24/7, and it is for that war is for the souls of men and women.
Yeah.
And the earth is a battlefield. Earth's a battlefield between heaven and hell, and there's a war going on around us all the time.
Yeah.
And so the crazy part, I'm watching this.
I've had dreams of good angels and white angels and black angels fighting each other.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there is literally a war. And it is. We don't see it. We see it sometimes. We see elements of it.
Yeah.
But the crazy part, I fall asleep watching this Perry Stone video, and I woke up about 3:40 a.m. and I got up and I went into my bathroom. It's the same bathroom where I felt the floor shake. You know, it's at the top of the stairs in the foyer, and I go into the bathroom, and I'm not even like thinking of anything scary or anything, you know.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue, I heard a loud knock on the bathroom door. These were solid oak doors. Nothing sounded like knocking on a solid oak door.
Oh my God! You couldn't get out of that bathroom either.
Oh, and this is no lie. You talked about like a night terror. This is no lie. When it happened, for a split second, I started to say what? Like somebody knocks on the door, you say what? And then like in this split second, I'm like, the front door's locked, the security system's armed, I'm the code, nobody's in this house, and I shift gears immediately, and then I am so scared, and I'm shifting gears, and I'm starting to say, I'm yelling, in Jesus' name I bind you and I rebuke you, in Jesus' name get out of my house. But I'm so scared. I'm literally yelling that, but all it is coming out is, in Jesus' name I bind you.
Yeah. It's like a night terror. You can't get out what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. You know the dream where you scream and nothing comes out?
And you're just like, it doesn't come out. I totally understand.
Yes, but I was wide awake. I was wide awake when this happened. And I'm like, I was so scared. And then I'm like, what time's the sun come up? I'm staying in this bathroom until the sun comes up. Yeah. And then I'm thinking, what if somebody really is in your house?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to go out and I have to search this house from top to bottom. And now it's probably like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, okay, I need a weapon. I look in my cupboard or in the closet, and there's like a cupboard in the closet. It's built into the closet. And I find a pair of barber shears. So I'm like, okay, scissors. I can stab somebody with scissors if I have to.
It'll work. Yeah. It works.
As I go reach for the door handle, I stopped and I was like, no matter what you see, you can't run from it. I don't care if you see a hooded figure. I don't care what you see. You can't run from it because you can't run from a spirit. And my exact thoughts were, no matter what you see, you're going after it. And you're going to be quoting scripture and binding it. So I'm like, here we go.
I feel like this is like an M. Night Shyamalan movie I'm listening to right now. This is unbelievable.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I open the door quickly. I walk out. Everything is quiet, peaceful. So I go into the bedroom. I grab my double-barrel shotgun.
Yeah,
I called my mom on the phone.
That would be the first thing.
And I said, Mom, here's the deal. I told her what happened, and she said, we were so familiar with this at this point. There had been so much activity.
Right.
She said, those stinking demons. I said, listen. I said, here's the reason I need you on the phone. I said, there might really be somebody in my house. And I said, I'm going through the entire house, top to bottom, every corner, every closet, with this gun. And I said, if somebody's in here, I'm killing them. And I said, I need you on the other phone. I said, if that happens, I'm hanging up. I said, I'm probably going to be fighting with somebody or trying to shoot them. I said, call 911 immediately.
So
I said,
here's the possibilities. It's a freaking demon. It's a freaking real killer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And maybe like one or two other things. Like there's so many possibilities that it could have been a freaking raccoon trying to get in the door. Who knows? I don't know. That is just insane, though.
Yeah.
My OCD would be through the roof, man.
It was
Go
unbelievable.
ahead.
And you know, like the knock on the door was so clear. That's what I heard, and it was unbelievable. So then I'm trying to load the double barrel, and I was like, where are my shells? And my mom says, you're not going to need them. It's not a person. And I said, look, I know that, but I still have to do it.
Oh, crap, that's right. I didn't even think about that. Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I searched that entire house, top to bottom. There was nobody there. The doors were locked. The security system was armed. There was dew on the ground, so the sun's finally starting to come up. There's no footprints leading away from the house. There's nothing.
There was no possibility. I know, like, I don't want to, like, upset you or anything like that. Like, it wouldn't have been your mom messing with you or anything like that. There's no other possible answer.
Mother wasn't there.
She's 3 counties away. When
she wasn't there.
No.
Oh, I thought she was there.
Not at that time. No.
Oh, so you were completely by yourself.
No, I lived by myself. I called her. She was 3 counties away, and I basically need somebody here on the phone. Listen, and if I find somebody, I'm hanging up, and you call 911 because I'm going to be holding them at gunpoint, and I might be shooting them. You know.
Yep.
This is like the scariest show. Unbelievable.
Oh, it was.
So what happened? So what's what happened moving forward?
Well, I couldn't. There was nobody in the house.
Nobody in the house.
I began having all this activity. It's just getting worse and worse.
Right.
Okay.
And there were several things that happened during that fall leading up to all this. And when I look back, it's very clear to me that I was taken down a path that I needed to go down during that time. And there were things God was working with me and He wanted me to do that were going to lead to my deliverance.
Yeah.
And one of them was fasting. I fasted for a while, and I don't normally fast. I hate fasting, but I did. And I did some things that I felt that He asked me to do that showed that I was putting my faith in Him.
Yeah.
And I ended up, an old friend from grade school sent me she had moved away after grade school. And I saw her a couple times around town as an adult. And I always thought, yeah, there's Angela. Yeah, she's pretty sure she's a Christian. Every once in a while I see her, she's wearing a Christian T-shirt or something, you know.
Right.
Well, she messages me out of the blue on Facebook, sent me a friend request, and I accepted it. And she immediately started messaging me, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? How you been? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so we're talking. And I said, I'm going to tell you. Now, keep in mind, like I said, I had gotten to this place where I didn't care if people thought I was crazy. I knew what I was experiencing.
Yeah.
I knew it was real. And I said, I told her what I was dealing with. And she said, here's my number. Call me right away. So I called her. And she said, okay, so where's your house? And I told her. And she said, that's really funny. She said, my husband was adopted by an Amish family, but he never joined the Amish church. And she said, I think where he grew up is right down the road from where you live.
What?
And she said, I'm going to talk to him, see if there's anything that he knows that could help you. And I told her, I said, I think my big problem is the Amish are conjuring all this demonic stuff against me and cursing me and all these things. And, you know, a lot of people would say, well, that won't work against a Christian. All it takes is, if you want that curse to work, go mess with that person and make them really mad and make them want to beat your head in. And guess what? All the curses are going to work. Because they're not forgiving you. They're wanting to hurt you. Yeah. And that's what I had been dealing with for years from the Amish, you know.
What?
It was like a real
my God.
So the crazy part, I explained all that to her, and so she said, well, I'll talk to him, and I'll let you know if he says anything.
Yeah.
So a few days later, they called me, and she said, hey, Dennis wants to talk to you, and she puts him on the phone, and he said, Angie told me that you think your problems are coming from the Amish are into witchcraft, and they're cursing you. And I said, yeah, I do believe that. And he said, well, I guarantee you that's true, but you have a way bigger problem. And I said, what's that?
Oh, joy.
And he said, did you ever hear of the Greenville Treaty? I said, no, never heard of it. What is it? He goes, look it up. He said, the treaty line from that treaty, it might even be on your property. He said, it's very close to where you live. And he said, here's the deal. The Amish will never tell you this. But he said, they told me because I was raised by them. He said, the Amish's ancestors were there, centuries ago, 200 years ago. And he said they weren't Amish then. They were like, German settlers or whatever, Yeah. And he said, when the Greenville Treaty was signed, they established the treaty lines. And he said the Indians did not abide by the treaty, so they got rounded up and shipped out west. And he said when that happened, the Indians cursed all of the land. He said, you built your house on cursed land. He said, you find that treaty line, your house is on the side that belonged to the Indians, and it's all cursed.
Ah, well, fuck.
So I went and I
do?
researched it, and I'm like, man, he's right. I'm like, he is right. This is all true, So I'm leaving out some details. There's a lot of details in there I'm leaving out, but I had it very strongly confirmed to me. He's telling the truth, spiritually speaking, when I prayed about it, and then also I found the proof. I found proof online. I found out where the treaty line was. He was right.
Okay.
So in December 20th, I believe it was, and this would have been 2009, December 20th, Dennis and Angela came to the house, and they said, we will do whatever you need us to do, and we will do it in agreement with you. We believe this is happening to you. And Dennis said, I'll even go talk to these Amish people. And he goes, I speak Dutch. I'll tell them, look, this guy's a nice guy. You need to leave him alone. I said, hey, I may take you up on that offer, but let's try this first. But we did an exorcism on that whole property. And in the book, I go into great detail what we did that made it work. And there's a lot of detail.
Right.
But, after that night, I didn't have paranormal activity in the house anymore.
Wow.
That was December 20th, right? 5 days before Christmas. Very beginning of January, I was like, if my house doesn't sell in 2010, I'm going to lose everything this year. But what are you going to do? And I thought to myself, I was like, I'm just going to go to church, I'm going to pray, and I'm going to trust God. That's all I can do.
That is all you can do.
I got a vehicle one Sunday night in the beginning of January to drive to a church I was attending, and my phone rang, my cell phone. And I answered it, and it was my realtor. And she said, and her voice was different. There was a tone to her voice. It was hopeful. And she said, somebody contacted me, and they have been driving by your house, and they are really interested. I mean, they are really interested.
Really?
As it turned out, the house sold so quickly, and the whole property, that within 2 months of the day we did the exorcism, I was moving. The loan, the sale had closed. I was moving. I had that house on the market since the beginning of 2007. Within less than a month of the day we did the exorcism, they agreed to buy the house. And within 2 months of that, the deal was done, and I was moving.
That is unbelievable.
So there was no doubt in my mind that this is for real. This really happened. This was directly related to the exorcism, and I need to write a book because I know what it's like to be in those places that are so low and you're so down you can't even think straight. And then I know how what it's like to go from that valley to the mountain. I know how to do it, And I need to tell people this story.
Yeah.
So where did you go after that?
The people the people that bought the house wanted me out of there pretty quickly.
Okay.
So we were scrambling. I'm scrambling. And this young lady that I had met, earlier that fall, and we went out a little bit.
Yeah.
She was a really good friend, and we dated for a while. She's a very nice person, and she was very helpful. And she said, is it okay if I help you look for a house? I said, yeah, I'm scrambling. I got to find another house,
Mm-hmm.
And the house sold for enough that I got a lot of the equity back.
Right.
And she finds this house, and she says, what do you think of this? I feel like it's perfect for you. This house is in Tuscarawas County.
Okay.
It's a two-story, very big, two-story brick house.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a massive detached garage that you could fit 2 tour buses in. There's an attached garage attached to the house. There's another building at the back of the property, and the whole property is surrounded by a chain link fence. And I'm like, this is perfect. I have my dogs, this is awesome.
Right.
I'm like, this is perfect. So we moved, me and my friends and family members, we got me moved into that house.
Right.
And the guy selling the house was a realtor. He had bought it at a sheriff's sale and had fixed it up.
Okay.
And he was it. And he said, I already know your story. You had that other house. You sold it. You got all that equity. I already know. He said, you're going to get your mortgage, so I'm not worried about that. He said, so you don't have to put all your belongings in storage. Go ahead and move into the house. When your mortgage closes, we'll settle up.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, I appreciate that,
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first night I'm in the house, I'm laying there, and this house, the real address is 225th Street, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I'm laying on the floor upstairs in a spare bedroom because we moved in. I did not have time to get my bedroom set up. It's just me and my cats there, and the dogs are out in the big garage. I have that all set up for them.
Right.
And I'm laying there on the floor, and I'm staring at this closet door. And all I'm thinking about is, man, whoever built this house, they were like really detail oriented. They paid a lot of attention when they were doing this work.
Yeah.
Right.
And out of the blue, I hear a voice in my own mind. It's like in my head, but it's not me talking to myself. It is like, and what I believe it was the Holy Spirit. It's possibly an angel, but I believe it was the Holy Spirit. And the voice said to me, you don't know anything about the history of this house. And then I thought to myself, that's true. I don't know anything about the history of this house.
Shit.
So I said a simple spiritual warfare prayer, very generic, that I had learned to pray in Holmes County, and I went to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my cousin comes, and he does all kinds of he can do all kinds of work. So he starts wiring things in for me. He said, which bedroom's going to be yours? I'll wire in a satellite TV outlet for you, blah, blah, blah. He's just really helping me. So he does that all like day 2 after or day 1 after I moved in, yet when I'm fully there. He does that right away. In my upstairs bedroom, which was upstairs to the left of the bathroom, which becomes a significant thing. And so, I'm in the house, and I'm living there and trying to get settled in and everything, and I kept having little oddball things happen to me.
Okay.
Just weird things that just made me like, man, what's going on? Like one day, my mom stopped in, I'm going to help you unpack and stuff, I said, okay. Well, she leaves. She goes home, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go out and take care of Maggie and Copper. And in this house, it was awesome. I had this massive garage outside that they could run around in. They're out of the weather. They can play. They can, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to go out and take care of them, and it's time to feed them. And Maggie, the Rottweiler, had diabetes. I'm going to give her insulin and whatnot. And I'm standing in the front living room tying my shoes, and I hear the door slam shut. And I'm like, wait a second. That door was already shut. Mom left a while ago. The door was shut. I looked right at it. It was shut. And then I was like, okay, stop freaking yourself out. Everything's fine here. You're just dancing because of what you just moved out of,
Right.
Well, then, I like just little oddball things, and this kept happening to me, And again, I knew nothing about the history of the house. I knew that it was built in 1924, and that was it. I knew nothing else about who had lived there, nothing.
Is it
And
possible
at night,
that the spirits might have followed you?
Oh, without question.
let me put it this way. It's possible for that to happen. I knew that it did not, because I knew that exorcism was successful, or I would have never got that house sold and been out of there.
Well, true.
I knew that what we dealt with was done and over with. I knew that. But I will tell you this. I kept having these weird things happen, and I would be getting ready to go to bed, and I would go around and lock all my doors, make sure all the doors are locked. I would walk across the front living room, and I would start to go up the stairs, and I would have this overwhelming feeling that I was being watched. And I would stop, and I would turn around, and I'd look across the living room, and this is what thought would always come into my mind. This reminds me of what it would be like to be in a funeral home alone after hours.
Okay.
Those were the thoughts.
Yeah,
that come into
I'd be moving out immediately.
And I would go on up to bed and think, man, this is weird, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I come home one day, which at this point, I moved in the very last week of February is when I moved in.
Okay.
So I'm there, around a week, and I go upstairs. I come home from work. I go upstairs. I open my bedroom door, and my bed is sitting crooked. It's not sitting the way I like. It was, it was moved.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I know what it is. My cousin, he came in here to double check some of his work on that satellite outlet plug. And he moved my bed. That's all it is. Yeah, I'll ask him tomorrow. He'll probably be here tomorrow. I'll ask him. He'll tell me.
You're making, excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I straightened my bed. I lay down in bed and shut my eyes. And I believe what happened next was a vision. And I say that because when I shut my eyes, it was like I was standing suddenly outside my bedroom door looking down the stairs. And what I was seeing was crystal clear. It was not how your mind pictures things. It was like extremely clear, razor sharp definition. The colors were vibrant, everything.
Yeah.
And I could see a hooded figure coming up the staircase.
What?
The hooded figure looked like an old man. He was slightly round-shouldered. He looked like he was dead. It looked like the complexion of a body in a casket. And he was looking down. He wasn't looking up at me. He was looking down, and he was coming up the stairs, and he had a creepy grin on his face.
Oh, God.
Okay.
And I opened it, and I thought, what in the world was that? I know. Why would my mind conjure up scary images? I'm not scared. I know that my cousins who moved my bed, I'll ask him tomorrow. There's nothing to worry about. I shut my eyes, boom.
Like
I'm
Stanley Kubrick or something?
Yeah, I'm looking down the stairs again. Like as soon as I shut my eyes, I'm back out in the hall. Like it's a vision. I'm standing outside the bedroom door, looking down the staircase.
Yeah.
There's this sort of figure coming up the stairs. I open my eyes, it stops. And every time I shut my eyes, there I was outside the door. So I started praying, and I said, in Jesus' name, I renounce every sin that's happened in this house. I bind the demons and cast you out in Jesus' name. Something to that effect. Very generic. I knew nothing about anything that had happened in the house.
Right.
I told 4 people that story. And I told the woman I was dating, I told her oldest son, we went out for pizza the following Friday night, and I said, I know there's nothing to this, and I know there's no way this house is haunted, because how could you possibly have 2 haunted houses in a row? But I said, listen to what happened. And I told them the story. And then I told my mom, and I told my best friend, Mike. I told him about it. So I have witnesses that I said these things, So then after that, my cousin's there working one day, and I'm up in the office, and I hear water running. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, Pat, get down here. I go down. It's like raining in the living room. And I'm like, what in the world? He's a pipe broke or something. He ends up figuring out where it is, and he gets it shuts off the water. But like, there's so much damage, it's not funny,
Right.
So I looked at him, and I said, if I didn't know better, I would swear something followed me from Holmes County. Right. I called my mom. I told her those exact words. And I said, I know something didn't follow me, but something's not right here. Well, like the following day, my neighbor comes over. I had not met him yet. He introduced himself. And he introduces himself and nice guy, told me who he was, where he lived.
Yeah.
And he goes back home. So on Sunday then, my mom and my sister and my brother-in-law stopped to see me. And we're out on the front porch talking, and my neighbor comes back. And in the book, I named him Steve.
Okay.
And he comes over, and he's with his girlfriend. And he says, hey, I want you to know, if you need help with anything, you let us know. Everybody helps each other around here. He said, if you need anything, let somebody know. He said, I'm an electrician. There's so-and-so works on cars. Other guy fixes roofs, whatever. He's like telling me all this stuff. We all help each other. So you let us know if you need something.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, I really appreciate that. And he says, well, that's the good news now for the bad news.
Oh.
And I looked at him. I knew what he was going to say. I just met this guy, and I knew what he was going to say. And I said, you're going to tell me my house is haunted. And his eyes got big and his mouth dropped open, and he stares at me and he says, yeah, man, it is. Some dude killed himself in your basement a long time ago.
Oh.
So I'm turning around and I looked at my mom and I said, I told you so. And she's like, you did. And my sister's standing there and she's going, oh, no, not again. What is he talking about? Because they know what I just ran through. Yeah. And I said, very, very confidently, I said, it's okay. I said, I'm a Christian. The house I just came from was haunted, and we dealt with it. I'll deal with this, too. And he's like, okay, I got other things to tell you, but I'll come back later.
So
and I'm
you
like,
literally
okay,
got...
I'm really curious.
You went into a new haunted house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew...
But he went into the new haunted house with the ability to get rid of them. So
I understand that.
He felt a little bit more comfortable about the situation.
But I mean, I would be like, fuck.
Right.
Yeah, I was very confident. At first.
Right.
And I knew at that moment, I knew. Now, keep in mind, up to that point, I was writing Nightmare in Holmes County in the office upstairs at 225th Street. I'm sitting in a haunted house writing about my haunted house. Mm-hmm. And I knew at that moment, when Steve told me the house was haunted, I knew that I knew that I was to write a book about this house. I was to write this book first. It was going to be like the other book was going to be written second, even though it was it'd be like a prequel,
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought, I know this book has to be written first. The title is to be 225th Street. I knew that immediately, and I have to put all my energy into researching this.
It was just like, boom.
So I started tracking down all these families that had lived in that house. And every family I tracked down was like, that place is haunted. Every family sold the house to another family and never told them about the suicide and never told them about it being haunted.
Really?
So,
and,
I
guess there's a law that you don't have to if, like, your state does not have an actual law that says that, like, somebody killed themselves in this house or it's haunted or anything
well, here
like
it's
that.
if somebody
you don't really
died.
have to say it.
They don't have to tell you somebody died here.
Yeah.
In Ohio, that is a law. That is a law in Ohio. And here's the thing. I'm not blaming any of those people.
Right.
Like, I get they want it out, and they want it out now,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But every one of them fought, and I think for like they kind of questioned their own sanity to a point, but they knew what they experienced was real.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started tracking down these people, I'm finding all these family members, and they're telling me horrible stuff. And I'll never forget, I ended up I found out this. Mm-hmm. On March 1st, 1958, the guy who built the house took a .22 long rifle, walked down the stairs from his bedroom upstairs into the kitchen, went down the stairs into the basement, walked over to the root cellar in the basement, opened the door, walked in, shot himself in the head.
Oh.
That root cell has a brick floor. He collapsed on the floor.
What?
Now, the interesting part was the weird vision I had that night.
Yeah.
Was March 1st, 2010.
Ugh.
The hooded figure I saw in the vision looked very similar to that guy that killed himself.
Oh.
And I was able to confirm that because I was able to find his son and his grandson's obituary, and they all looked the same. And that's what the hooded figure looked like.
I mean...
So it was unbelievable. And the stories were horrible that people told me. And then, so I'm contacting these people. They're telling, and I call them up and I would say, look, my name's Patrick Meekin. You don't know me. I said, you have every right to think I'm crazy for what I'm going to ask you, but I have to ask you something. I'm buying the house that you used to live in at 225th Street. Did you ever have anything strange happen when you lived there? And without fail, they would start telling me stories.
Wow.
They all confirmed they thought it was haunted. The first guy was like, he started laughing, and he said, you need to talk to my ex-wife. He swore the place was haunted. Here's her number. Call her. So I did, and she told me all these terrible, horrific. And it would be like, do you know anything about a hooded figure? When I'm talking to them, they would get so upset when I said that. And they all were like, they all had experiences like either constantly dreaming of it or, did horrible things. And then there was also like a 7-foot tall shadow person, which I personally believe is a spirit of death.
When you sometimes dream about it, though, it could very well be the spirit asking for help.
This was not asking for this was not asking for help. This was, I'm going to kill everybody I can and take them to hell. It was bad. And as the story goes, when I tell you there are multiple deaths linked to the house, attempted murder in the house, one thing after another, okay? And it got so I ended up calling the granddaughter of the gentleman who killed himself. And I went through my spiel. I said, told her who I was, and you have every right to think I'm crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I said, did you ever have anything happen in that? I said, I know your grandparents lived there. Did you ever have anything happen there? And she went, why? What did you have happen? And I was like, man, that's not a And I said, well, I'm not saying there's necessarily anything to this, but, and I told her about the night my bed was moved in the vision of the hooded figure. After that, she started speaking, and her voice was cracking like she was going to cry. And she said, I can't believe you're saying these things to me. And then she said, that hooded figure, I know what you're talking about. She said, after my grandfather killed himself, she said, I would stay there with my grandma a lot. And I would have I always have this reoccurring dream that when I went to the house, that thing would be there. And she said, and then I started actually seeing it. And she said, and I saw it in my own house. She said, one night I woke up, it was standing in my bedroom, and it grabbed me and started pulling me out of bed. And she said, I believed that it was the devil himself and he was taking me to hell. She said, I have become a very religious person because of all this.
Wow.
Well, that's all true. I know people who know her. A friend of mine is a friend of hers, and I didn't know all that till later, but 100%, she is a very devout Christian, this lady is. She totally telling the truth. Her friend that ended up being a friend of mine she's confirmed this woman's in her 80s. Her mind is as sharp as if she was 30, and she remembers things, and she knows things. She's lived in that town all her life, and she's confirmed all kinds of things to me. But the stories that happened to these other families, I mean, just terrible, terrible things. Strange deaths. The one family moved in, and the husband ended up passing away while he lived there, and he had all kinds of experiences himself in the house. The family suffered so bad, but after the father died, his stepson, which was his wife's son, moved in, and she had two sons, and the younger of the two sons moved in. And he chose the bedroom upstairs to the left of the bathroom. Sound familiar? That's the same bedroom I chose.
Yep.
And as it turned out, it was the same bedroom the guy who built the house, who later killed himself in the basement, slept in. And this guy said that he told his mom, he said, I hear people walking in the attic at night, and I go up to the attic and no one's there. And he said, he's having all these experiences and, weird stuff's happening.
Right.
And on, his behavior starts to change. Now, the gentleman who killed himself's granddaughter told me that she did not like her grandpa. He was very mean, and he did not like children, and, he was mean about little kids and things. And the interesting part was, this other family, the mom is talking to me. She was an older lady. We became very good friends. And she's telling me how her son moved in and his behavior changed. She said it was the weirdest thing. He would be standing in the front living room looking out the door as kids were walking home from school. And he would say, if I ever have kids, I'll beat them with a belt. And she said, and I would look at him and I would be thinking, who said that? He doesn't talk like that.
Wow.
Well, his behavior becomes very, very different and very reckless. He buys a motorcycle. He starts driving it extremely fast. He's bragging about doing that to his mother. And as it turns out, she's telling him, you better stop because I don't want to be scraping you off the road.
Yeah, right.
He goes out on the sweetest day, 2006. He's out with some friends riding motorcycles. And he keeps trying. He's on a road that's a limited access road. So it's safe for them to ride their motorcycles there. And it's over near Perry, Ohio, around Massillon.
I know exactly.
And he's on
where
this
that's
road. Yeah, and he, his friends take him aside, and they said, you have got to stop trying to ride wheelies on your motorcycle. They said, your motorcycle has to have modifications made to it before you start pulling wheelies, because if you don't, you're going to get the front end up off the road, and it's going to be up in the air, and you're going to start tank flapping, meaning the handlebars are out of control.
Yep.
They said whatever direction your wheels face them, when you come down, you're going off the road, and you're going to die. And the reason they said, a crotch rocket will go 0 to 60 or more in 1.6 seconds.
Oh yeah.
They're extremely fast, so you're going to die. They're trying, and you got to rev that thing up to pull the wheelie.
Right.
So they're like. I talked to his friends. I got their names out of the crash site report from the State Patrol. I tracked some of them down. Some won't even talk to me. One of them talked to me. His girlfriend also talked to me. But this guy told me, he said it was like he had a death wish. We told him not to do that anymore. And then he rode off all the way down to the other end of the road. We couldn't see him. We heard him gun the engine and rev it up real fast. And then we heard a loud crash. He said, we all took off down there. He said we found him in a ditch. He was splattered all over these big boulders in the ditch, and he was making gurgling sounds for a few seconds, and he died.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Okay. The crazy part is, did he become so reckless? Did he become possessed in the house, and it drove him to be reckless to where he wasn't actually suicidal, but he was engaging in behavior that would likely lead to his death?
Right.
Or did something else take over that motorcycle because he listened to his friends and he said, they're right, I'm going to get modifications, and he rode down to the other end and something else took over the motorcycle. Now, as crazy as that sounds, his mother told me in one of her many, many stories, and 225th Street is full of these horrific stories.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah.
She told me that she said she was driving down the street one day, and it was like something else took over the steering wheel, pulled the car sharply to the right. She went off the road, and there was a little girl walking to school. And she said, I slammed on the brakes, and the little girl jumped out of the way, and I missed her. she said it was like the wheel was locked and I could not turn it. And she said I was sitting there thinking, what is going on? I don't drive like this. How did that happen? You know? So then I'm thinking, you know, if she's telling me that, and I believe her, because everything she ever told me that I could verify, which was many of the stories, they all checked out to be exactly the way she told them. She told me the truth. And I was like, well, who's to say that something else didn't take over that motorcycle and cause that accident? I don't know. I'll never know, but I wonder. Well, it gets weirder.
Wow.
And believe me, I'm leaving a lot out.
Patrick, I ask
Yes.
all our guests this. I know we're going into the 4th hour right now. Would you like to stay for another half hour and continue this, or would you like to maybe come back in a day or two?
I can't in a day or two because of my work schedule, but I can talk a little bit longer if you want to.
Okay, how about we do? We'll do 30 minutes. We're gonna hit break and we'll bring it back then. How about that?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we gotta have this guy talk just a little bit more.
Yeah,
this is some insane stuff. So we will be right back. We are in hour 4, believe it or not. That went by super quick. And then right after that, we'll have about 30 minutes of the news you can use, folks. This is NTRN. We'll be right back.
새벽 2시 하늘께까지 telling me that you Gucci 너답지 않지 got me driving like a movie 난 아직 굳이 걱정 따윈 없지 pedal to the floor only seconds left to go 새벽 4시 오후 아침까지 미안한다고 말하지 나답지 않지 got me calling like a movie 난 아직 굳이 걱정 따윈 없지 pedal to the floor only seconds left to go
The cancer is still spreading. I'm afraid there's nothing else we can do. There is one person who might be able to help.
Our program is a 2-pronged treatment outside Mexico City. The results have been stunning.
She saved my life.
You're in very good hands with us.
After that, what happens then?
Your whole life happens then. John Kramer.
According to these scans, the tumor was never removed.
How much time do I have?
Months, at best.
I still have a lot of work that needs to be done. Hello, everyone. It's time to play a game. You all pretended to cure me, but what I have planned for each of you is very real.
Peace came upon me. No light, no sound.
The only thing I have not provided is your anesthetic. But trust me, you will want to remain alert.
Of all the men to cheat, you picked John Kramer?
Please, don't hesitate. Place a big enough piece of your cerebral tissue into the glass enzyme tank. This will save your life.
So sleep, silent
This is not retribution. It's a reawakening. Live or die. The choice is yours. Rated R.
얼어붙어 like whoa 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 난 겨울 Yeah, girl you cold blood Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 기출돼 꿈에도 I wasn't done 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해 배신감이 들어 단판이 돼도 머릿속을 흔드니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가 안만 빠져버릴까 If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Yeah, yeah, you got me Let it go 얼어붙어 like whoa 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울 Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Yeah, yeah, yeah Girl you cold-blooded Girl you cold, girl you cold-blooded I'm like frozen 뭐야 모두 stress은 gotta let it go 했어 소개팅 데이팅 어플 다 깔아 또 보았어 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract Don't know about me and you yeah we fell into the cracks Yeah 갖고 너네 no cap 왜 난 안 보여 what's happening 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and wave it fast Yeah I'm leaving back but 말해도 너만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이건 love a relationship이 헷갈리기만 해 girl I'll tell you I'm sorry if you want me back I'll tell you stop trying Yeah, yeah, you got me Let it go 얼어붙어 like whoa 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울 Girl you cold-blooded Let it go 얼어붙어 like whoa 띵하고 어지러워 I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울 Girl you cold-blooded Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Yeah, yeah, yeah Girl you cold-blooded Girl you cold-blooded Yeah, girl you cold-blooded Yeah, yeah, yeah Girl you cold-blooded Girl you cold-blooded
Shitty car, but we hit the road. Doesn't matter where we go and destination unknown. I don't care where the motor stops. Cause when I want it, then I want it. Yeah, I want it. Oh, I want it. Let's go. Look around, where's the people at? I want a taste of the good life. Hit me with it right now. I'm in it. Cause when I want it, then I want it. Yeah, I want it. Oh, I want it. Let's go. And I won't look back, yeah. I don't care about the bad shit back home. It's Cincinnati, baby, I just wanna let it go. Nothing matters when we're way out here. Oh, yeah. Baby, I don't have to know your real name. I'm just addicted to the way you take the pain away. Nothing matters when we're way out here. Oh, yeah. Cincinnati, baby, Cincinnati, baby.
Streaming to you live from Spreaker.com and somewhere deep in the great upper Midwest. If you're ready for a ride, you can call NTR anytime by dialing the nationwide caller line at 1-507-384-9390. First-time callers can reach Night Talks Radio at 1-507-307-4424. Text Daniel and NTR exclusively at 1-218-689-7126. Now, from somewhere in the great upper Midwest, here's your hosts, Daniel Brewer and Jennifer Gregerson.
Paranormal, you you say? Well, folks, we got paranormal for you. We got craziness for you. Jennifer,
Yes.
am I telling the truth or what?
Oh yeah, this is absolutely crazy.
This is bonkers. I haven't heard anything like this. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
With a few individuals, and even those individuals didn't tap this situation. You know, it's kind of like how I say the movie Scream is scary to me, because the reason why, it's your own friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are like, oh, that's so stupid, you know?
Right.
But to me, it scares the shit out of me, because it's like, it could be you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be my best friend.
Right.
They're fucking plotting to kill me. They're gonna fucking kill me because they're psycho over movies, right?
Right.
Okay? It's kind of like this. This is real. Okay?
I'm kind of dying to ask him, what's your favorite scary movie?
At this point, he's gonna be like my own life. So, we're bringing Patrick back on here. Patrick, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, yeah, we got about, my gosh, when you're having a good time, time does fly. So we got about 20 minutes, it looks like, here.
Say Patrick, real quick while we have you on here.
Did you say St. Patrick?
No, say Patrick.
Oh, okay.
We were just talking. We have to ask you, what's your favorite scary movie?
He heard it. He was on break.
I'm going to be honest. Is probably the first two Paranormal Activity movies, and the reason why. Why is because you know, this is funny. In the fall of 2009, the lady I'd mentioned that, you know, we became friends and we're dating for a while.
Yeah.
We were watching the first movie. And we're in my house out there in Holmes County watching it, and I looked at her and I said, you know, this movie's really good, but I feel like what I'm going through is way scarier. And she said, I was thinking the exact same thing. But I like the movie because it's overly done. I like some of the Conjuring movies, but there's a little bit too much Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the Paranormal Activities, it's the things you're studying the screen, what's going to move, what's going to happen next, you know. And a door, and it's subtle, like that door opens, and it's just enough to, you know, oh yeah, there's something there, all right, you know.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
To me, that's what is in real life.
See, when I was younger, you know, when that movie was out and Blair Witch was coming out and things like that, I was a projectionist. We actually had a union, believe that or not. But anyway, those movies were so intriguing to me because they really ushered in a whole new generation of movies.
Right.
Paranormal Activity came out after Blair Witch. Blair Witch really blew people away for about a week or two until they realized that it wasn't reality at all. But they went through so much to make that movie seem like it was reality. Even having a National Geographic show and a Discovery show talking about the Blair Witch and the history of the Blair Witch. So normal people would watch these shows and be like, this movie's totally real. This is the footage that they found. And Blair Witch, obviously, there was like 3 or 4 more that came out that barely made any type of money. But the first one, you couldn't, you know, redo. It was something you just couldn't redo. But then Paranormal Activity came out after thinking about what the Blair Witch did, and that first one, I could say that I was like, well, holy shit. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so there you go with scary movies.
Oh, yes. They do make it very entertaining.
I actually have a bunch of movie equipment, and I've been wanting to make at the very least docudramas about both books. I've been slammed with so much. I would love to do that, but the thing, if I do it, I want you to feel like you're there. I want you to really feel like you were there experiencing it. You know?
Yes, like it. How was it? Just like a first person, a first person sort of experience that you feel.
Yeah.
You can feel what, in this case, like a director or whatever have you,
I guess I do
wants
have to
you to feel.
I do have to say the Grudge was kind of scary.
The Grudge was absolutely horrible. Okay, but anyway. You got a question there for Patrick?
I do. Patrick, real quick here, before we go back into talking a little bit what happened at the end of that house and stuff, did you ever do any, like exorcists or whatever, out of the town that you were in? Did you go anywhere to anyone's house and do it? Did you, experience anything really dynamic there? Like, was it really, really scary?
Did you do exorcisms?
Yeah, he did exorcism.
Yeah.
We already talked about
Okay,
that.
that's right, yeah.
But what I'm talking about is, have you ever experienced anything where the dynamic person or the
Came
dynamic
with
thing, is actually taking over the whole entire body, where it's actually making it really, really sick?
Oh.
You mean over that whole area?
Well, making it an incurable disease.
I think what she's saying is that did it take over the body or the human to the point where it was making that body physically sick and this and that?
Right.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this real quick. On one of my podcasts, that's free, there's a young lady from the United Kingdom that I interview. Her name is Demi. And Demi was so possessed it wasn't funny, and she actually had all kinds of health issues, and she got delivered and everything healed. I will tell you personally, there is a story that's going to be in my next book, Shadows and Light, Volume 1.
Okay.
And it is, it's in Ohio. I don't say where just because I promised the family. I'm changing their names and everything.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, absolutely understandable.
Yes. In 2014, I went to help this family, and one of the family members basically had a fatal disease. And as I talked to them, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And the details will be in the next book, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it's very likely this is actually demonic. Right. And when we dealt with the house, we dealt with that. And I can tell you, yes, demons can take over a person's body and cause sickness. They're spirits of infirmity. I will tell you this. My mother, who is a very devout Christian, had an attachment years later from 225th Street. We did not know she had it. She had health issues. It had all these sinus problems, had to have a surgery, all these things. Nothing fixed it. We found out on Mother's Day 2014, we were like, my sister had a big part in it. We put together, this is what happened. Yeah. And all the details are in 225th Street, but we prayed over her. She barely even had a voice before we prayed over her. We prayed over her, and within a matter of minutes, everything was completely healed. Wow. And when we prayed, we were very aggressive and specific. If there is anything attached to her from 225th Street, I take the sword of the Spirit and I sever you away from her in Jesus' name. We anointed her with anointing oil.
Yes.
Bound it in Jesus' name, said, you are leaving, period. That's it. You are leaving. I left the house a few minutes later, got into the next town because she lives out in the country, and I called her. She answered the phone. Her voice was completely normal. 20 minutes earlier, you could barely hear her. Her voice was so hoarse. And she was completely delivered of it. We didn't know it was there. Wow. That's what you got to be careful. You can have an attachment, and that's not possession, but it is attached to you, and it is affecting your health. And it's affecting you other ways. And you don't even know it's there because it's invisible,
Right.
That's right.
But
have you ever had anything
that's
where
legit.
someone had like an amulet or a bracelet or something that was like cursed?
Yep. Yeah, that's the problem. You have that. You're going to have it. You have a cursed object in your home, the curse will come on to you. That is actually in the Bible. So if you have something like that, yeah, it's going to affect you big time, because you're basically walking around with, like, say you have something around your neck, you're walking around with a demon around your neck, you know. And people don't know. You know, you do have to be careful buying antiques. You do have to be careful buying certain things. No question about it. I will tell you another story. I just covered this on my last episode 20 of the Stranger Than Fiction podcast. Okay. I was contacted by a lady in Carolina last year, or in 2022. Severe haunting, blah, 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 all these issues. I start going down, I'm talking, but I'll try to help as much as I can over the phone or Skype or whatever. I can't come to South Carolina, but I'm going to try to help you. Right. So I start going down to her and taking page after page of notes. And we come to find out on an adjoining property to her where she lived, the original owner of that whole property used to be one property. It got split into two. He lived in that house next door. 2012, he asked her on Christmas Eve, hey, come over and check on me. He was 81 years old. She goes over, walks in. He's sitting there with a pistol in his lap, a deck of cards in his lap, and a bullet hole right through his right temple. He shot a deck of cards. He held the deck of cards between the end of the gun and his head and shot himself. Why? I don't know.
Oh, my God.
He still that deck of cards in her possession. They were having all kinds of paranormal activity in the home. Now, there were some other things I get into on the podcast that other family members had their own issues. But as far as she was concerned, I believed you have got to get rid of those. And when she tried to burn them, it took a long, they would not burn. I said, douse them with an accelerant. You got to get them to burn. You got to get rid of them. Right. She eventually did. I said, destroy the ashes. Don't even have the ashes on your property, you know. But here's the crazy part. She had those were a cursed item. Somebody used those in their own suicide. She still had them. After I walked her through all that, you know, there's always people that come along with telling them stuff that's not accurate, and that was going on. And I said, look, you need to forget all that. I told you what to do. Let's trust me. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. And I said, I believe you've done what I've explained to do. And I said, and I feel very strongly that you are to focus on Jesus now. Your focus needs to be Him. Forget all that other stuff. I said, you need to, you know, repent of your sins, accept Him as your Lord and Savior, and focus on Him. Make everything about Him. You know, so just make everything in your life about Jesus. And she said, okay, I have done that when you told me that before I did it. And you know, and I've done that. And I said, well, just keep Him front and center. Yeah. 2 months later, I was contacted by the gentleman who introduced me to her. And he said, did you hear she passed away last night? She had a massive heart attack and died within 2 months of that.
Oh, no.
She was, if I talked to her, okay, she was not a Christian person. I fully believed if you're going to go to heaven, you got to be saved. That's why Jesus loved us so much. He gave His own life so none of us have to go to hell. He paid for every rotten thing we have done. He paid for it with His own blood. He was innocent, you know. And she was not in that relationship with Him yet. And she was being tormented by demons, terrible things done to her. And because of that horrible situation, she was helped to get rid of that object that needed removed from the house and destroyed. And she was, you know, led into, okay, this is what my focus in life needs to be now. And then she died, you know. And as I look at that, I'm like, you know, I believe when she told me she did that. I fully believe it. And I believe that there was a bigger plan in the works. I just didn't know it. I knew, and I felt very strongly that I was to tell her, He is to be your focus now. You just make everything about Him. Forget everything else. You've done what you needed to do. Now just focus on Him. And it's like, you know, I fully believe that, you know, there was a plan in that. And ultimately, she's in heaven now.
Yeah. Wow.
But a cursed object will destroy you. that is for sure.
Well, see, I have a question about that because, see, I'm into, like, spirituality things, you know, and stuff. And I was kind of looking a little bit more into my family past. And I come from gypsy heritage, okay? And I was also looking to see what my lucky charm was. Well, my lucky charm is the Nazar. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Nazar, but the Nazar is actually like the evil eye. Okay, and the evil eye actually, there's a legend where the evil eye could either be cursed or it can either help you and protect you. And I believe, you know, because of what I read and stuff like that, that this evil eye that I had is a protection one. But see, here's the weird thing is that I was reading a little bit more, and a lot of times they have to be given to you as a gift. And if you go out and buy it yourself, you're not getting the full protection of the stone. Okay? And ever since I bought it, it seems like we've had nothing but just a turn of bad luck.
I've told her to get rid of the damn thing.
Everything, but you can't just get rid of it.
And I know why. I
Yeah.
can tell you why. If you want to have a stone that is symbolic to your family or your heritage, just for the, like, I'm Irish, an emerald or whatever, that in and of itself, my ancestors from Ireland, there's nothing wrong with that, but that can't do anything for me. The only place, you have two sources of power in this world. One is God, the other one's Satan. God's more powerful, but Satan's extremely powerful. Anytime we put anything as our protector, and okay, I have a cross sitting in front of me right now that I've used in exorcisms. I don't consider this cross to be an object of power. The reason I use it is demons do not like staring this thing down because they know it represents that Jesus died and defeated them and rose again. That's why I have it. When an object becomes where your source is, and I'm not saying this offensively, I'm just explaining it. It becomes an idol. Without us even knowing it, it becomes an idol. That idol will have a demonic attachment, and it will wreak havoc. If you want to have something like a crystal or whatever, and because it's beautiful, well, if God made a crystal, that's fine. But don't count on that for a source of power, because that's making that an idol, and bad things will happen with that. It's when you make that something that item has power, that's where it becomes a problem. So I would say, I would change my whole view on that, and I would be like, yeah, you don't have any power. If there's something attached to you, you're not, I don't want you in my life or whatever, But like I would look at it as, hey, there's two sources of power, and I want the one that wins, and that's God and that's Jesus, And that's the thing. Like symbolism, there's truth to it to a point. Like taking communion is symbolic of the Christ's broken body and His blood. It's symbolic. There's power in that. There's power in it because we're recognizing what He did for us. Now, at the same time, look at Satanists, the pentagrams, they have all this stuff. They know that, too. That's symbolic, too, because that represents something evil, and there's demonic power. So there are things, but if it's anything that is promising a source of power and it is not coming from God, that's a problem.
Okay. So then what do you do? Do you have to bind it? Or, because I have some holy water, too, so do you spray it with holy water and say, a prayer? Or?
I would not mess with the holy water. Here's what I would do.
Okay.
I would, number one, I would renounce any demonic attachment to that stone. And I would say that this represents my heritage as my ancestors, but I reject any demonic attachment. I reject any ungodly power that is behind this. I renounce it in Jesus' name. If there's any demonic attachment, I bind it in Jesus' name, and I command you to leave, get out. I don't want you to go to the pit of hell. And I would anointing oil. And the reason why, anointing oil, it's scriptural, it's healing. The Bible talks about praying for the sick and anointing them with oil. But it also says if they have sins, have them confess their sins, and then anoint them with oil and pray over them, and they'll be healed or whatever. So. That's always a big part of it. We have to look at ourselves and be like, do I have an area in my life where I have sin? And if we do, we gotta work on that. We gotta say, I'm sorry, I have this area. forgive me, help me to overcome this, because God will do that.
Yeah.
But the anointing with oil represents the Holy Spirit. And
what's the anointing with oil? Like, what kind of oil?
What I personally use is just an anointing oil I got at a gospel bookstore, and it's called Oil of Gladness, and it is frankincense and myrrh. And frankincense and myrrh, two of the gifts that brought to Christ after he was born.
That's right.
Yep.
And it smells really good. But that's not going to take the authority. Examine yourself. Look at anything and say, do I have anything in my life that's unpleasing to God, and get rid of it if there is, and ask him to forgive you. And then move from there. Say, this object. If this object is cursed, any demonic representation, I want nothing to do with. If you feel like that doesn't do it, I would just get rid of it. But I feel like a stone. Like if somebody had an emerald, and it's because we're Irish or whatever. I don't feel like there's a problem with that. It's that when they say this brings me some a good, it brings that's when an inanimate object can become demonically charged.
Oh, okay. So like I open almost like a door.
Without even knowing it, and that's how most doors get opened.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that's what it bring all the bad luck it will bring, because it brings a curse without you even knowing that it did it.
That explains a few things.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Hopefully it'll turn us around and everything, and we won't have this string of not so good luck here, that we've been having the last 2.5 years.
No.
Yes, I would do that.
Go ahead.
You know what? Just take inventory of everything, and just pray about it, and just say, God, anything that you want to change here, we give it to you. This is yours. We give it to you, and whatever you show us to do, we will do. And trust him. Trust him. And you know what? This is another thing I recommended to the lady I was speaking of earlier on my episode 20. I told her, I said, start reading your Bible. And I said, to me, I love the book of Mark, the Gospel of Mark. And there is a whole lot in the book about casting out demons. And I told her, I said, start in the book of Mark. And there's something about that book to me that is powerful, and it will keep you on the edge. Like when you start looking at things Jesus did, it boggles your mind. It blows your mind. Like, man, like obviously he was a son of God and he was God incarnate, but it's like he was an extremely cool individual, so to speak. Like there's never been a person like him, And it's like when you actually start to get to know him, it blows your mind. It absolutely does. And just submit everything to him. Just give it to him and say, whatever the problem is, I have these issues I'm dealing with. I'm giving it to you. I need help, and I will do whatever you direct me to do, and then just trust him and focus on him, And like I said, in Holmes County, there was a walk that I started in the fall of 2009 that I didn't know it at the time, but it was a path that God was leading me down. There were several steps along that way. And I highlight them, I outline them in the book, but they led me right down that path that led to my deliverance, And sometimes it required me examining myself. That was part of it, and fasting. There was a lot of that I had to do as well.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that God will do something if you're kind of leading down the wrong path. Like in 2013. I was struggling really bad, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I didn't feel like I was getting hardly anywhere. And unfortunately, I was in a bad car accident. But see, the way things had turned out that day is that the person I was with had forgot her wallet, so she had to go back to her job to get the wallet. And then as we were driving, I spilt my coffee all over myself, so I had to stop and get a shirt out of the trunk and change a new shirt and stuff. And as all this was happening, it put us right in the exact same spot of this 22-year-old who was going too fast for the road conditions, just slid right through the stop sign and smashed right into me. And from there, I busted my hip. I shattered my hip bone and my pelvis. I was 7 months pregnant. But what it did
It's pretty horrific.
It basically got me to, and that's when the ghosts that I saw my whole entire life at my mom's house and stuff like that, and my house growing up and everything, actually saved my life because they put an NG tube down my throat and it was actually kinked. And it hurt so bad, and I kept telling him, I said, there's something wrong, and stuff. And she told me to take it out, and I took it out, and it was kinked. And it would have, really suffocated me and everything. I would have been dead. But then, by going into that whole situation and everything, got me to go back home and everything, get my life back on track and all that stuff. So I think that God throws obstacles in your way, and it may not be, the greatest thing to do sometimes, but it's to kind of steer you in the right track, I think.
Prove yourself.
Let me give you an example. In Holmes County, when I was trapped there, there's last 3 years, you don't know how many times I questioned God, why is this happening? Why? Later, after I came through both of those houses, later on, it occurred to me, years later, I had to stay in Holmes County because my next assignment was 225th Street, and that had to happen in God's timing, not mine.
Yeah. Wow. That is so strange.
He wanted me to experience those, and I think the reason why was because I would share that story from my perspective, which is a biblical perspective, and it helps people because when you're in that situation, there's only one source for your deliverance, and that's God, Yeah. And if you try to fight demons on your own, you're in big trouble,
Yeah. Well, see, the same thing with my car accident real quick is there were 9 car accidents that same day around that same time. And unfortunately, there were 8 fatalities except for mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, that's when you get into the category of miracle.
Miracles, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
Patrick, I was going to ask... do you have, I know you mentioned you have websites and things like that. Could you maybe repeat some of that stuff?
Actually, if somebody wants, right now I don't have a website up, but if somebody wants to contact me, you can contact me on Facebook, and my name is spelled Meechan, Patrick Meekin.
That's right.
You find me on Facebook. Just if you're sending a friend request, send a message so I know where you heard me, so I don't think it's spam or whatever. But my books are available at Amazon.com, and they are available as paperback, Kindle version, and audiobook. Nightmare in Holmes County is available as an audiobook now, and 225th Street will be available by on the 29th of August. It will be available as well.
I would definitely like to help you with promotion. If you could, send me some of the pictures, images of the books that you do have out. I'll post them. Do you have them?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll get those up on NTRN, FB, and now X. I guess I need Twitter no more. X. But we'll get things promoted and.
And
the last part of this conversation...
He is actually sending us, is it 1 or 2 books, Patrick?
I can send you a copy of each one.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, thank you.
Yeah, he's going to autograph it for NTRN for our display cabinet.
Oh, well.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Beyond friendly and appreciated. Yes, I would love to have you back on the show one time, not just because of what you originally were talking about, but your discussions about God and things of that nature. I'd love to have you back on the show sometime to go into more detail about that type of stuff.
And then how you do
I would love to do that.
Too.
What's that?
How you do exorcism too, and stuff like that. So
absolutely. Yeah. I have a story that I could share on that. Something horrific that happened in our family, but how God intervened in the whole thing, and it would blow your mind. It would absolutely blow your mind. I will tell you, my dad was murdered when I was a teenager. And I could tell you the whole story, and if you heard the whole story, you would be like, "There's no question that God's real. There's no question." It's a hard story to tell, but I know I need to because you don't go through things to keep yourself.
I totally understand. My mother, at this point, the past 3 weeks, she slipped and fell in the bathroom. She had to have emergency heart surgery. They put a pacemaker in her.
Stroke.
4 days later, she had a stroke. Shortly after that, what was the issue she had after that, Jen? She slipped and fell and broke her hip?
She strained it or whatever. She didn't break it.
Strained it, fractured it. And then this morning I learned they put her on dialysis. Yeah. So,
our daughters never met her. We were actually, we had a GoFundMe going on and stuff like that to try and earn some money to get to Michigan, but unfortunately,
everybody's
it's
hurting these days. But we have other means, and
nobody,
but it's
able
just
to donate. So,
now I think more than ever, it's weird because I saw a study that stated that. Back, I think, 30 some odd years ago, belief in God was in the mid-90s, if not higher. And the study, as recent as earlier this year, only 83% of people believed in God in the United States. And, you may think that's not a big difference. You might say, oh my God, that's still super high. That's actually really, really bad. Yeah. Especially when you compare it to, say, the 1950s and 60s, when it was nearly 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and you look at the world's crumbling around us. I mean, it's
it's
chaos everywhere.
It is. It absolutely is. I totally agree. And so, I'd love to have you back. Me, you, and Jen can talk about that and get you on as soon as we can. And I had a great conversation with you. I'm sorry that we're out of time.
That's okay.
You have a great night, and we will be in touch this week and get something scheduled up within the next couple of weeks. How about that?
Fantastic. I appreciate that.
Okay, and I appreciate you for being on the show. Believe it or not, you gave me a little bit of uplifting speaking about certain things the past half hour here.
Yeah, I mean, if you knew everything we went through, and stuff, it's been absolutely insane. I'll shoot you a message and everything, and we can talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
Very
you have yourself a wonderful night, and we'll be speaking to you soon.
Yeah, good luck with your conference tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
Okay, good night, friend.
Night.
All right, bye.
He really was
uplifting.
I don't want to say magical, but the past half hour or so, I mean, he really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I would hope that he opened your eyes to a lot of things, and your trinkets that you like to carry around. You gotta do something with those things and talk to him a little bit more, okay? Yeah. Because if he's telling the truth, you don't know whether that could be the reason why we've been having so many problems.
Well, it probably is. I need to. I
mean, I'm not accusing you, but he sounds pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, but it makes sense. I mean, seriously, when did all the problems happen? About 2.5 years ago, when I got it.
And the way he was saying is that you're putting your faith in something else, which means you're making something else an idol, and according to God, you can't.
No.
There's
you're,
no other.
you're basically the way it is that okay, that it's supposed to be it's supposed to protect you from all evil and stuff like that. Well, that's what God is supposed to do. Yes, now I understand
making
it.
these
so
things
yeah.
an idol
Exactly.
and taking God's place. God's looking at you and maybe punishing the last 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay, but this guy sounds quite knowledgeable. I want to make sure his books get up on our Facebook page.
Yep, I got his book, I got his biography, I got his picture, yep, everything.
And we'll have that up tomorrow, if not the next day at the latest. And we're definitely going to have Patrick back on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And
without
switch gears just a smite.
Yep.
So to speak. Do you have the quote of the day?
I do. Can you hold on just a moment while I grab my computer?
I think I can hold on just 1 second.
All right. It's actually kind of neat because, you know, what we were talking about with God and everything like that, this quote kind of fits right in. So hold on 1 second.
Okay. Hold it on 1 second. 1. Okay. All done. You're fired. No, what a wonderful show tonight. God, I really enjoyed Patrick. That was a great show. Some of the stuff we talked about in the beginning, spooky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. Okay, hold on 1 second here. Let me go ahead and pop this up. Yeah, and he has a lot more, you know. And when he's talking about his dad and everything like that, he told me that story, too.
I don't want to hear it yet.
It's absolutely incredible.
I don't want to hear it
I'm
yet.
just going to say it's absolutely incredible. It's incredible. It's sad with what happened to his dad, but it's absolutely incredible what he's saying.
Well, let's save it for when you are able to schedule him in fairly quickly. You got about 1 minute there, Tiger.
All right, so this is by Amanda Gorman, and it says, "There is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it."
Well, hey,
and
that's a good way to end it.
So true. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Okay, folks. I don't know what to say. This was a mind-opening NTRN. I really do hope that people listen to this show and gather up next time for the next show, which will be tomorrow. This has been NTRN. We'll be back tomorrow. So long, everybody.
Oh my god.
Hang on! Ethan! Go, go, go!
Audiences and critics can't believe what they're seeing.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you. Stay out of my way.
Tom Cruise has outdone himself with a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes!
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is filled with holy shit moments.
What is happening?
This is why we go to the movies.
Oh, I like her.
It's pulse-pounding. It will rock your world with jaw-dropping action.
Is this where we run?
Go, 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 go!
Probably.
It's one of the best action movies ever made.
What more can I say?
See it in the biggest, most seat-shaking theater you can find. It will take your breath away.
Ethan, did you make it? Are you okay?
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Tickets on sale now.
feet on the ground as I walk through the front door. Now I can breathe. Put that pedal to the floor. Crank some tunes and fly away. Every next step, hold tight every day, no giving up. Nobody moves from the bloodshed. Let's fly away. Every move that I make, every next step, hold tight every day, no giving up. Nobody moves from the bloodshed. Let's fly away. I was lost, headed down the highway, no direction in mind, just ignoring signs, didn't care about time, 'cause I'ma do it my way. Hit that pedal to the floor, crank some tunes and fly away. Every next step, hold tight every day, no giving up. Nobody moves from the bloodshed. Let's fly away. Every move that I make, every next step, hold tight every day, no giving up. Nobody moves from the bloodshed. Let's fly away. I'll fly away, yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Every move that I make, every next step, hold tight every day, no giving up. Oh, nobody moves from the bloodshed. Let's fly away. Every move that I make, every next step, hold tight every day, no giving up. Oh, nobody moves from the bloodshed. Let's fly away. I'll fly away, yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 I'll fly away.
For Jennifer Gregerson and the Night Talks Radio Network, I'm your host and creator, Daniel Brewer, saying thanks for listening to another great NTRN episode. Also, we can't forget the ones who make NTRN possible nationally and worldwide. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, JioSaavn, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Deezer, Podcast Addict, ZMARadio.com, Live 365, and TuneIn Radio. All music heard on NTRN is licensed for use by Epidemic Sound. For more information, head to epidemicsound.com. All other music heard on NTRN is licensed for use freely by the musical artists, along with copyright usage information, fulfilling any terms of usage agreements with Spreaker.com. Special thanks to the voice of NTRN, Kevin Robinson. And a very special thank you to Art Bell, because if it wasn't for Art Bell back in the day, we wouldn't be here today. Catch NTRN every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday late night and weekends starting at 9:05 p.m. Central Time, beaming directly to you from a secret little town in the great upper Midwest. So, until the next NTRN, stay safe, cover your six, and remember, they are listening. So long, everybody.